Let's go, Quicks.
Welcome, everybody. We're back into the Omega Files chain of events. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Glad you're all here. And let's get ready to face off against some Eldritch horrors. It's not going to be good. So it's going to be bad. If you're watching us here live on Twitch, please make sure to follow. It's free and it helps support all the Games Tavern shows. If you're catching us on the YouTubes, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss when our episodes get posted. But before we get into the story, the Elder Gods have demanded that we provide you with this data feed.
Please understand, we have a couple of content warnings. They are in no particular order of importance: abuse, animal death, self-harm, suicide, gratuitous violence, needles, kidnapping, death, blood, mental illness, tentacles, mutations, shrubberies, insects, birds, blood, cats, dogs, drug usage, chemicals and chemical usage, radiation, lizards, firearms, blood, explosions, interrogations, clowns, sarcasm, arson, threatening with mechanical implements, and probably a few other things that we haven't thought of ahead of time that you might see at any given time in this stream. Also, the Omega Files stream will feature several points in this broadcast where you decide part of the narrative. That's right. You get to use this prime feature to vote in the chat and determine an effect somewhere in tonight's investigation.
And remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you also get a free Prime Gaming subscription. Prime Gaming subscribers support everyone on the show and get access to sub-only emotes and to a special subscriber-only channel on the Games Tavern Discord.
And tonight we are giving away a mystery dice set from our friends at 1985 Games. You can check them out at 1985games.com and use our code TGT10 to get 10% off your order. And for 2 weeks only, you can gear up your whole gaming group or treat yourself to a Dragon's Horde with their buy 6, get 2 free on their new and improved mystery dice. In order to enter the giveaway, just type !EPIC, that's EPIC, once you see the notice in the chat that the raffle is live. You must be a resident of the United States or of Canada, excluding Quebec, sorry, Quebec, and you must be a follower to enter. We will continue to take entries until the end of the stream, so be sure to stick around as you must be present in the chat for the staff to contact you when we pick the winner. If not, we'll draw a new one, so make sure you stick around and don't miss out.
All right, and away we go. We're going to go ahead and start off with Mr. Tom Jones. Because, well, he's Tom Jones. Tom Jones, your phone rings, the burner phone that the organization has given you.
I'm going to answer it with a very hesitant, hello.
Hello, Mr. Jones. This is Mr. Williams. I have an investigation that I believe you would be most important to be on. Be most effective for your personality, so to speak. Wow. And I will need you to be in Philadelphia at the Bellevue Marriott, Suite 908 by 12 noon on August 4th. You will find that a key to the suite has been coded in your burner phone, so no keys are available at the front desk. You'll be able to just wave your phone in front of the door and be fine. I will tell you that this is related to a gathering that is being held at the Philadelphia Museum of Natural History. Oh. Are you willing to attend?
I'm most certainly willing to attend. I'm just excited to be allowed back into the Museum of Natural History. So, you know, that'll be really nice for me.
Hold on a second. Let me check my file. Hold on.
Naturally.
Yes, you're fine. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, that has been dropped.
For me to be kicked out of places, I guess you could say it's not unusual.
Yes. Well, with that, I'm going to hang up. Click.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hello?
Calls will go similar, but not exactly the same. But you all will have received the same information, that you should be in Philadelphia by noon on August 4th and meet in the Bellevue Marriott, Suite 908. So, and that there is a phone, on your burner phone, is the key card to open the door. So, with that said,
how many days is that away?
3.
Okay.
You have 3 days to get there. So we'll start with Rosie. Rosie, oh my, Tom, that
My burner
looks like an
phone.
abnormal growth, my friend.
My burner
Rosie,
phone.
how are you going to be getting to Philadelphia, and are you going to be doing anything special?
I live in Virginia nearby, so I'm actually going to drive. That way I can pack up my car with all the weapons that I want to bring.
Fair enough.
Otherwise,
Not a problem.
nothing else special, really.
All right. We'll go over to Kyle.
I am going to, of course, have to take a plane from Seattle over to Philadelphia, and I'll do that post haste so that I have a few days to hopefully supply myself appropriately.
Okay, excellent. Tom.
Yeah, I would say that I'm probably going to get myself there the way that I typically get anywhere, the cheapest possible route. So whether that's a series of Greyhound buses, some light hitchhiking.
Are you coming from Vegas?
From Vegas, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You could probably scratch up enough money for a ticket.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, I have money, but it's definitely like, even my bank statements have money in like quotes. So, it's yeah.
Well, we know that you're missing shows. Your audience will not notice, so we're good.
100%. Yeah, all three people that are usually the sad drunks at the bar are probably going to be grateful for the quiet. I think is going to be nice.
Excellent, Ricky. Where are you coming from, and how are you getting there?
I'm coming from San Diego, and I'm just gonna get a flight because I'm just gonna get there a few days out, as to not be late.
Fair. Was there anything you guys wanted to look up or do between now and when you're supposed to meet at the hotel on the 4th?
I go to the zoo.
Oh, go ahead, Ricky.
Oh, I'm sorry. I go to the zoo.
To the zoo. Heck yeah. I was gonna say, I'll probably try to find like where this hotel is in relation to like places around, any good eateries, any fun nightlife. If anybody, if there's an open mic night, perhaps.
It's Philadelphia. There are open mic nights,
yeah.
but they also do throw batteries, so be careful.
Oh yeah, trust me. I need all the batteries I can eat.
You are part robot. Anybody else want to do anything interesting in town?
I want to go to the Mutter Museum.
Okay.
Good choice.
All right.
So,
yes, you can
I'm
absolutely go
originally-
to the Nature Museum.
I was born in Philly originally, so I'm actually going to go into not the greatest part of town and attempt to make a deal for a handgun.
It's Philly. That shouldn't be too hard.
I figured as much.
Yeah, it's not too hard.
What am I able to
okay.
get, just out of curiosity?
We'll just say you're able to get a Glock 17.
Okay, that works. Not my first
It's
choice,
old. It's not new,
but
but
beggars can't be choosers. So I'll go back to the hotel, break it all down, oil it up, clean it, make sure that it's actually functioning well.
It's probably only been used in a couple dozen crimes.
That's completely fair. Has it got
It's
serial
age.
numbers on it?
No.
Okay, well, that's really dangerous, but okay. I put it in an evidence bag when I carry it.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, Rosie, you're able to visit the museum, and it's nice. It's a lot of walking, and I've already sent you the maps, so you can look at the maps if you wish. But there's all kinds of stuff, and even though it's a nature museum, they seem to have early man exhibits. They have other human exhibits that don't necessarily fly with nature, but that's just the way they seem to roll.
They have a Shark Tank?
They do.
I want
A
to
very
go.
big Shark Tank.
Does it have
Yes.
a big shark in it?
It has several big sharks in
Okay.
it. Yes, it has several sharks,
All the
a couple of
better.
rays, and some other fish. But yes,
Fair
it has at least 3 big sharks.
And is this where the meet is to happen?
This is where the event is going to be happening that he wants you to investigate.
Okay.
He mentioned that it would be at an event at the Philadelphia Museum of Natural History, but you're supposed to meet at the hotel noon on the 4th.
Okay, so I would definitely go to the Museum of History the day before and peruse it as a patron. No weapons or anything like that, just taking careful details about things like security cameras, means of egress and entrance, and anything that just looks odd. And if there's any news, scuttlebutt from the guards or other people at the museum about anything odd that's happened.
No, but they do seem to be setting up decorations and things the day before. Part of one half of the entrance area is blocked off with, stanchions because they're setting up a stage.
I will inquire, what is the event tomorrow?
Oh, supposedly we're receiving some priceless Aztec artifacts, and they're doing a big get together over. Gee, thanks for giving them to us. I don't really know. I get paid to stand here.
Are they
Perfect.
gold?
I don't think so.
I'm just going to be walking around just like Kyle, kind of like trying to get the feel of the layout of the museum. But I'm also going to have one of the maps that they hand out when you go. And I'm going to be comparing what's actually open while I'm there with what's open on the map. As well
Everything
as
is actually open.
Okay, I'm also going to
The entire museum is open for viewing.
Any employee areas I'm going to mark on the map.
Oh
So-
yeah, you
so I
can't.
know.
Well, there's doors that say employees only in a couple of the.
Mhm.
But that's
So I
really
say-
all you can see at the museum.
I'm
I
gonna be
thank the
hanging
guard.
out-
Oh, sorry. I thank the guard and say, well, nothing like some cultural appropriation and thievery for a great celebration. Have a good day, sir. And I
Yeah,
continue
yeah.
on
And
my
you
way.
notice that his badge is Robinson.
Robinson. I will make note of that.
Last
So I've
name
got
is
my
Robinson.
pad. I've got my pad out and I'm making mad notes everywhere I go.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yes,
go ahead, Tom.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I'm wandering around the rock collection.
Yes.
And you could see clearly painted across my face the disappointment at the fact that it's a bunch of stones, and not more of a Hall of Fame type situation. That I'm just like, what's quartz? What have they ever like? What name one single by quartz? Like, what kind of rock collection even is this?
Expensive.
Well,
Worth a lot of money, you think? There's diamonds and emeralds and rubies and opals.
a new appreciation washes over Tom Jones.
Yes, it's not just like, quartz. There's all kinds of gemstones as well.
Perfect.
So, Ricky, did you want to go check out the museum as well, or do you want to only go to the zoo?
At first I didn't know. I didn't realize that we knew that we were going to a job at the museum, so that's why I went to the zoo. So I'm gonna stick to it. I'm going to the zoo. I'm just gonna look at animals.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so we'll say it's the 4th. Is anybody going to arrive earlier than noon?
I'm already there.
I'll arrive a little early, like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I checked into a hotel across the street, so I just walk over.
Well, actually, I mean, what do you want to get to the meetup early?
Yeah.
Okay, that's easily done. You can actually get in the room anytime after 10 o'clock. So as early as you
10:01.
want to get there.
10:01. I'm in the room already.
Okay, and your phone works. It unlocks the door as soon as you wave it underneath the door. You're not sure how the phone is doing that because that's not normal. But then again, it's a burner phone, so who knows what they've done with it. When you go into the room, you realize it is a suite. It's a very large suite. It's actually a 3-bedroom suite with a kitchen and a balcony. And then there's a large central area that has a computer set up on a table in front of where the television would be. And it's open and on, but there's nothing being displayed. The rest of the rooms they just look like hotel rooms. Well, very nice hotel rooms, all except for the one that has 4 bags, 4 hanging clothes bags in it. And then the kitchen also has food, sandwiches, and snacks and stuff. It's been stocked. So that's
Alright.
what you see when you're in there.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. So we'll go to Rosie.
I'm gonna give me some snacks.
Okay. Well, so Rosie, since you've come in, why don't we get Ricky to describe himself?
All right, Ricky Bones. Jeez. Tall, sort of slender individual, tan skin, glasses, and I am currently wearing a sweater vest.
Nice.
Okay. And what does he see, Rosie?
Yeah, Rosie is an elderly woman. She's about in her late 60s, almost 70. She's got very curly gray hair, a black tank top, and camo pants. And she looks kind of tough, but not like a biker or anything like that. Just she looks like she's seen some shit.
All right.
Nice.
Do you wish to have any interaction, or should I bring the other people in?
Oh, I mean, I'll say my hellos. Hello, I'm Rosie.
It's so old lady. Hey, I'm Ricky. Well, Richard, my friends call me Ricky. How you doing?
What should I call you? Because we're not friends yet.
Richard, since we're
Okay.
not friends.
It's nice to meet you, Richard.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm gonna grab
Right.
a snack.
At that point,
All right.
we'll say that Kyle enters the room.
So I will stop by the front desk and ask where the cafe is so I can get a cup of coffee on the way, because you
Oh,
never
sure.
know if it's going to be available at the meeting. So I actually do the wand and or my phone and come in through the door with my coffee in hand and go, "Hi, good morning, team. Good to see y'all. I'm Kyle."
And what
I,
do they see?
What they see is a guy who looks, I mean, I'm dressed in a what you would consider to be a government suit. I look like a Fed. I'm very buttoned up. I look older, probably in my late 50s, maybe early 60s. And I'm just as average and normal looking as can be, except for that. But I will literally go around and shake the hands. I walk over to Rosie and go, "Hi, ma'am. I'm Kyle." And I put my hand out to shake her hand.
Hi, Kyle. I'm Rosie. It's nice not being 20 years everyone's senior for once.
"Oh, you look very good. How old are you, ma'am?"
Old enough. What about you?
I'm actually 57.
Nice.
"Good to meet you, Rosie. I think we're
Good
going
to
to do
meet
great
you."
together." I then move over to Ricky. "Hi there. My name's Kyle. What's your name?"
Hey, my name's Richard. Friends call me Ricky.
"Alrighty, Ricky. Would you prefer Richard or Ricky?"
It seems to me that you're already settled on Ricky, so that's fine.
"I'm good with whatever. I can change it. Do you like Richard? Would Richard be better?"
Ricky's fine.
"Alrighty, Ricky it is. I think we're going to do great, Ricky." And then I go and I sit down and pull out my pad and begin doodling.
Did you want to explore the suite?
Not yet. No, I have coffee.
And the final contestant arrives with the door cracking open. In walks Tom
Fine coffee.
Jones.
Tom Jones. And yeah, and he'll probably even say his name when he walks in, just very much like he's like someone had already started to announce him, like, "And up next is," and then just like comes in, just goes, "Tom Jones."
Oh, I stand right up and go, "Hi, Tom. I'm Kyle." And I put my hand
Hey.
out.
It's just,
I'm a big fan.
oh, no relation, but that's, hey, I appreciate that. And Kyle, you said, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Right on, K-Dog. I like it. Now, the general look that you're going for, as far as the person that you see in front of you, is somewhere between like Klaus from Umbrella Academy and oh, what's his name there from Get Him to the Greek? The thing comedian, British comedian. Why can't I remember his
Russell
name?
Brand.
Russell Brand, yeah. Somewhere between those two, sort of Russell Brand from Get Him to the Greek, but all of that, but with a lovely hand dipping, a sort of overtone, a sheen, if you will, of very poor.
You're giving off chaotic hobo feminine rocker dude.
Oh yeah, like he's wearing this sort of like, it's not a blue suit, it's not a gray suit, it is a suit that you can only assume probably 12 years ago was probably black. It's not anymore. almost entirely. Maybe under the lapels, but everything about it is sun-bleached and worn and threadbare, and he's not looking, I mean, you know, he's tip-top. Sort of very 5 o'clock shadow, wanting to be a goatee, but also not really ever quite getting there. Yeah, very sort of like street grifter, but like given a stage to do it, you know, kind of feel. And yeah, very gregarious, very personable, almost handsome, but like there's a quality to him that you're like, yeah, I bet you, you know, 10 years ago, a whole lot less drinking and, you know, maybe a shower, and you'd probably be, you know, fairly decent looking. But right now he just kind of looks like a bag of cats. But yeah, he'll definitely go around the room and definitely be like, Kyle, my man, K-Dog, like it, like your style, like your enthusiasm.
Nice,
Lady.
nice suit, Tom. What color is that? Is that casual gray? Is that the color?
It's Galen blue. And he'll turn to Rosie, who he has not yet introduced, and be like, hi, Tom Jones. Tom Jones.
Hi, I'm Rosie.
Rosie, an absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance. And he sort of gives like almost too formal a bow to, like he saw it in a movie once. And he'll turn to the final. And,
are you okay?
He says, well, ain't that the question? All right, what's your name, friend? And finally he turns to sort of Ricky.
I've just been watching this whole performance and I'm like, what is happening here?
That's right.
Richard Bones. My friends call me Ricky.
Ooh, Ricardo, you and I are gonna get along swimming.
No, it's Richard. It's Richard.
Absolutely, Richmond.
Okay. All right. And I just slump off into a corner or to the balcony and think about my life and the choices I've made and the path that led me here.
Tom Jones's general personality is like if cocaine could have depression. Tom Jones. All right.
Hi. Okay. So about 10 minutes after Tom Jones arrives, the computer starts to the screen starts to turn on as if somebody else is controlling it, the one that's in front of the television, and you see an outline of a person, and you can't really tell who he is because he's shadowed, but when he starts talking, you recognize him as the person who actually had called you on the phone. He goes, finally, you're all here. Excellent. My name is Mr. Williams, and I figured this would be the best way to do this. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I can hear you. I'm new to these things myself, but they tell me that this is how it works. And you're guessing that he's probably in his early to late 60s, just from his voice. And so he begins, he says, do you have any questions yet before I give you the information you need?
Before we get the information we need, not terribly, unless there are any like specific ins and outs of what we should know about like gift shop hours, or if there's like a happy hour, or like
No.
Expected to be.
No, I don't deal with that. That's the information center.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
You should talk to them.
Awaiting your briefing, Mr. Williams.
All right. So anyway, I've contacted you, the organization, through the organization, because we have an investigation that needs to take place during a gala that's being held at the Philadelphia Museum of Natural History. It is tomorrow night, and the reason that we need an investigation is it's believed that from our sources that there is going to be a theft at the museum tomorrow night during the gala. It's kind of come down the channels. We don't know exactly what's going on there. We suspect it's related to the artifacts that are being delivered. It's 5 obsidian sacrificial knives and a bowl, all made of obsidian from the Mayan Empire. And they will be delivered by Lord William Gastonbury. And he is donating them to the museum. with, just having his name on the exhibit. And if these are what we have been led to believe, these are priceless. Now, for those of us more in the esoteric, if these are truly sacrificial knives, they could have much more interesting abilities rather than just as artifacts. And I guess the concern is that they might get stolen.
Are you saying
don't
they
know.
could have occult abilities?
Yes, that was the thought by people above me. So yes, so what I could tell you is that the event begins at 6:45, and the presentation is scheduled to begin at 7:15. There you will not be able to get any weapons inside, most likely, and we've been unable to get any into the building ahead of time due to searches by Philadelphia's finest, because the governor might be there, and so they're sweeping the building with dogs to find anything that's left behind. So I would say you could get it past the security agency, but security is being handled by the Henderson Security Agency, and they fly by the books. They don't break any rules. So we haven't been able to infiltrate in a way that would allow us to grease some palms. So
They're a good group. Very difficult to bribe them. Very difficult to corrupt. They
Yes.
run a tight ship.
yes, and I would have been part of the investigation, but since I'm known at the museum, it's probably not a good idea.
What is our cover? Why are we there?
Well, so this gala is by invitation only, and it's for the elite of Philadelphia. It really is just a big thank you very much. Now give us the artifacts and go away party. We have prepared for you, and in the bedroom behind you are 4 clothing bags. There are 3 tuxes fit to your size, and then also a dress fit to Mrs. Stone's sizes. So you will have the attire you need to wear for the gala. And I have put aside 2 limousine reservations, depending on how you wanted to arrive. I leave that up to your decision if you want to arrive as a group or if you want to arrive as 3 in 1, however you want to do it. The real trick is that Lord William Gasdenbury, he's a minor noble in England, like 832nd from the throne, so very, very minor, but he has lots of money. So and we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but the rumors are that something's going to happen, and if it's related to the knives or anything else in there that could be a ritualistic or occultish, we really don't want those falling in other people's hands.
Where are these rumors coming from? What kind of sources of information are they deriving from?
I don't know, because that information has been passed down to me. That whole need to know thing. But the last time that the rumors came up that something like this was going to happen that I was involved in, they were absolutely dead on.
So is the mission for us to make sure that nothing is stolen, or to simply make sure that we know who has stolen it if in fact it happens?
It is to be present and use your best intuition as to what you need to do. Because I can't tell you what the answer is, because we don't know. The 2 events just are corresponding around the same time. That makes us a little concerned that it could be the knives, but it could not be the knives. We don't know.
But you trust our judgment on what to do?
I do. Your names came very highly suggested. A little questioning on the gentleman in the sequins, but I guess if he's a schmooze, it would work well. The fact that you have a detective and a fixer, so to speak, in the group is always good, and Mr. Bones is very observant. very observant.
Solid judgment on your part. We will not fail.
Oh, wonderful. Do you have any questions for me?
Do I have to wear the dress, or can I also have the same tux that everybody else is wearing?
Well, if you look in your bag, you'll find that we gave you both options.
Yes. I haven't worn a dress in 50 years, and I'm not starting now.
That's fair. I haven't worn one since yesterday.
Also fair.
I think it's possible Tom Jones may have been willing to trade you, but thankfully that's not required.
I think she's a little too tall for Tom Jones.
I've still got it. You want to put it on? It'll be a nice, long, flowing train behind you.
You literally have bigger shoulders than I do, so while I appreciate that, it's just a non-starter, unfortunately.
That's probably.
I think he would eventually wear it like a skirt.
I mean, but also, yeah, no, I get it. That's fair. That's fair.
A kilt is a good look on men, I have to say.
Did I not show you the picture of Lord Glastonbury? I'm so sorry. I'm new to this. If you look at your picture, you can see that Lord Glastonbury, he's in his late 40s, early 50s. He's a very tall, well-built English gentleman. He's got brown hair, more of an olive color skin because he spends a lot of time out in the wilds doing various investigations. He's an archaeologist by trade. And so he uses his money to go on these exhibits, these expeditions, and yes. And so that's the man who is donating it. We don't know if he's involved in what's going on or not, but it couldn't hurt to give him a feel.
Will he be there?
I'm sorry?
He'll be there?
Oh, yes. He's the one presenting the items. He's the one donating the items to.
Oh, wonderful.
To the museum.
You consider him a possible suspect in giving these items.
I consider everyone a suspect. I mean, you all could be suspects for all I know.
So you think it's a potential insurance scam of some sort, maybe?
I don't know.
Okay, very well.
There was no specifics, just an action. An action was being, planned, but I wish I could give you more information. But
that's fair.
On that. Any other questions?
Are there any other exhibits that have opened recently at the museum?
The items are not going to have their own exhibit built until they're there. Right now, there's a traveling exhibit that is on Japanese fighting traditions. So that's coming through. It'll be there for another month, and then it'll move on. I believe it's going to. And then when that happens, we'll get another one. The next one that's coming is very interesting. You'll be surprised when you see it.
And are there any groups or people that have been protesting the museum or making difficulties for it?
Not that I know of, no.
Very well. Well, I think you've explained everything. You've certainly satisfied my pre-briefing notes.
Okay. Ms. Stone?
I'm good. I know where to go.
All right. Mr. Jones, I know you'll talk to me for 10 minutes, so I know you're good. Mr. Bones, are you comfortable? Do you need anything else?
Looks around to the assembled group. I guess I'll be fine. Yeah. It's all good.
Oh, okay, great. Well, then I will go. If you need me, you have my phone number on your burners. Please give me a call if you need me. I will do what I can. So, good luck. And let's see. And you can see his shadow. He's kind of like looking around on the keyboard, and he hits a button, and like.
Perfect.
And then the computer says reformatting. Goes up into the prompt and says reformatting.
Reformat. All right.
All right. So it's wiping itself.
Perfect. Great. I do love the idea of like, do you guys need anything beforehand? And Ricky just looks at it, it's like an adult, like a chaperone, like something. I love that.
There are 2 senior citizens.
I'm plenty adults for him.
There's a senior citizen, so there is an adult on the team.
Perfect.
So do
Ricky,
you guys
excuse me
wanna
for
ride
being
together? Oh,
Ricky,
sorry.
excuse me for being so blunt, but what do you do?
Me?
No, Ricky.
Oh, well, I'm a forensic surgeon.
Oh,
Ooh.
if things go bloody, that could be very useful. Well, pleasure to meet you. Can I put you on speed dial for future? Do you do consulting work outside of this group?
Uh, not recently, no.
Would you consider it?
Sure.
Great. You have a card.
No, I've left everything back home, so no, I
Smart.
don't have any cards.
Okay. I pull out my phone and take a picture of him
Okay.
and begin typing his contact information.
That's
in.
your regular phone, not your burner.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah. It's my regular phone. What's your number, Ricky?
What? Uh,
He is your friend, Ricky. You did say your friends call you Ricky.
Once again, just thinking about the decisions I've made and the path that I took to lead me here, and I just reluctantly, I just give him and then the number to the burner.
That's
I
fair.
dial the number just to make sure it works.
His phone rings.
Ah, good. And I hang up.
Okay.
I'm looking at Kyle while this whole thing is just okay.
So Tom, no, I better not talk to Tom yet. I need another cup of coffee first. So
There is a
Rosie,
coffee maker.
I start that while I'm talking. Rosie, what do you do?
I'm retired, but as you can see, I'm not doing so great at the whole retiring thing.
I mean, but what do you do? Why does the group send you on these soirees?
Well, I used to be a vigilante.
Really?
like
He did
Like
say
full-
fixer.
full costume and
Oh,
stuff.
no. You don't need, I mean,
Mask
people
and
wear
cowl?
costumes in real life. Superman's not out here in the streets. Instead, it's people like me, old ladies in some camo pants and a laptop crouched out outside of the bank and keeping it, Anyway, I used to be a vigilante.
That's remarkable. Well, I tip my hat to you, madam. We all do justice in our own way.
Thank you. I hope my skills will help us on this mission.
I hope so too. Tom, what do you do?
Oh. I mean, if there's a 20 in it, what won't I do?
That's fine
But-
coffee right there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would say that I'm a man who holds many an odd job. My primary source of, let's call it income, is a stage performer, a singer, all-around entertainer for those who can maintain sobriety long enough to enjoy the show.
Where are you currently performing? And I don't mean right now, but I mean generally, like this
Oh.
week.
Out of Las Vegas, there's one small sort of bar called Lorville's Larder. It's not so much a bar so much as it is a convenience store that has a beer shelf. Yeah, it's, again, it's
That is
weird.
you.
Yeah, see, and this
That's
time with
remarkable.
pants. I mean, it looks nothing like the mugshot, which is great. I'm so glad to have an updated headshot. But I would say that I can be found around wherever the night calls and music and frivolity is needed, or basically wherever I haven't been kicked out of yet. So yeah. How about yourself?
Right. Okay.
Kyle, tell me a little bit about you. What are your hobbies? What's your favorite color? If you could be any dinosaur.
my
what would you be?
hobbies. I quite enjoy doodling, actually. I hold up my pad and you can see, in addition to copious notes, there's a doodle of what appears to be an elephant dunking a basketball over in the margin.
That's great.
It helps me think.
I see.
I'm a private detective.
Ah.
I've formerly done extensive consulting work with a variety of agencies that you usually know by 3 letters.
Got it. Good. Yes. Good. Like the IRS. No, it's
Maybe
fine.
not them. Maybe
right.
not them. Maybe so. Who knows?
Well, that all depends on the nature of the work. I get that. You go where you're needed. That
If-
resonates. That resonates.
If I've worked for the IRS, it was definitely an intermediary that had me doing that work. I don't remember ever directly working for the IRS.
Well, what is your plan, lady and gentlemen?
Want to ride
What do you
together?
wish to do? I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, Rosie.
Do you guys want to ride together, or do we want to take 2 limos?
Is there any value to arriving separately and not being seen as a group together? That would be the first question I would ask.
It might look a little strange, me and Tom Jones in the same car.
Well,
Ricky?
you could just have a sugar. You could just be a sugar mama.
I was gonna say, or a bouncer for that matter. I mean, I love.
You're
the
not a
jacket,
bouncer.
by the way. No,
Ricky?
not me. I meant
Oh,
Rosie.
her. Oh,
I
sorry,
meant Rosie
yes.
is my protection. Oh yeah, I don't look threatening at all.
Well, in that case, it might work out.
Ricky, what were your thoughts?
I was gonna say that maybe it does have a bit of an advantage arriving separately.
Fair enough. So if we're arriving separately, how do we arrive? Is it 2 groups of 2, a group of 1, and a group of 3?
Two
What do you recommend?
groups of 2 seems like it will work.
And who do you recommend arrive together?
Just looking. Who do I not want to arrive with? That's the question.
You thought that, right? You didn't. You didn't. Actually say
I thought it, and that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, who don't you want to ride with?
Not,
In
at,
actuality,
not at all.
What we need,
No.
what we need to do is make sure we're believable when we get there. The difficulty and horribleness of the ride over really is secondary to us looking good when we get there so that we can accomplish the mission.
True.
Hmm.
It would almost, I think, at this point, sort of behoove the group if I showed up separately. I think I can blend into a crowd fairly easily and sort of get lost amongst the shuffle. And now that I've got a bead on who you guys are, I can keep an eye out on the crowd and maybe throw in a couple of hand signals or head gestures or something.
Are you gonna take pictures of them so you don't forget their faces?
What? No, absolutely. I already have. It's
Okay,
probably
just
already
checking.
necessary. It's probably part of the handshake, to be frank. It's like, and a small note with a name next to it, so that way I don't get confused. Yeah, like that's probably very necessary.
I wasn't thinking you were a memento, but that's fine.
Oh no, yeah, just I'm just not. My mental faculties are questionable, I would
Yes,
say.
but you see the world in a unique way, which is why they
Boy.
like you.
Boy, do I, and I can get along with just about anyone, even if it's against their will.
Okay. Was there any investigation, as in any information you wanted to look up beforehand? You have an hour. I mean, you have a day. Not an hour. You have a day.
In that case, then.
I would like to read up on the items being donated. Like, I'm
Okay.
going to try to find as many articles and stuff as I can about them.
Okay. You can definitely find an article in the Philadelphia Examiner that talks about donations that are being given over, that there's several Mayan artifacts. There's no picture of them. It appears that no one is being allowed to see them before they're delivered.
Does
Now,
this-
that's the public. It's most likely that the people in the museum have already seen them.
where did they come from?
Well, he won't say exactly where he got them, except that he was on he found a lost city in Honduras, but doesn't say where this lost city was in Honduras.
Hmm.
That's really all Lord Gazdenbury would say to the news.
I'm also
I-
going to look him up.
That
Oh,
was
sorry.
about to. No, that's exactly what I was about to
All right.
say. Is to see what information
so-
I could get.
Rosie, while you're doing that, Ricky, you look up Lord Gazdenbury, and what you find is that more so than what Mr. Williams told you, he is a very eccentric, wealthy minor noble of English descent and that he does spend most of his time going around the world to dig sites and archaeological exhibits. He kind of fancies himself almost an Indiana Jones type person, which is the way he behaves. But he does actually reside at his castle in Scotland, and he makes money now by selling antiquities. All right.
Yay.
Thank you for the raid. Really appreciate it. They're about to go to a very expensive elite gala at the Philadelphia Museum of Natural History to try and stop a burglary or something. They're not really sure until they get there. Thank you for joining us. So, anything else you guys would like to look up?
So I would like to.
Research.
I'd like to also research Lord Gazdenbury, and I want to start from the trash pile end and go backward. I'm going to look for the worst haters that he has online, and
Well,
in looking at what they're saying about him, and then trying to reference back and actually validate or invalidate what's being said about him.
so Lord Gazdenbury has quite a number of detractors. He has been accused of stealing artifacts from countries with, illegally, of course, much like his ancestors. But every time that has been brought up, he has been found innocent of stealing these artifacts. And so he is not been arrested. He's only ever been questioned by various countries around the world.
As I go through those stories, I literally am going to look over and shout or say out the names of the people who are making the accusations to Ricky, so that Ricky can cross-reference and kind of go upstream with figuring out if those people all mysteriously were disappeared or something like that, while I continue following his part of the story.
Okay. Yeah. So Ricky, you can definitely find articles on that, but he's always been found to not have stolen the artifacts. He always has the right paperwork, and there's always a trail that goes back to where he purchased them legally from someone, or went through, when he was in Egypt, he went through the Egyptian government and got them out. That doesn't stop other archaeologists and other people from saying that he didn't, that he actually stole these artifacts and then sold them or donated them to museums all over the world, and they of course want them back.
How about outside of the artifacts or that artifact business? Is there anything else he has dealings in that's sketchy or we might take interest in?
You don't find anything else. He
Okay.
really is away from home 9 months out of the year.
Okay.
He leaves his business to be run by whoever's in charge at that time, by the CEO of the organization.
Okay. I'm madly cutting and pasting as I go,
Okay.
so that I have a file by the time we're done I can print out down in the office center.
Okay. Great. Anything else? If not, we can go to the gala. And you all do have wonderful tuxedos to wear. They are very fine tuxedos, and they fit like a glove when you put them on. You're not sure how they got your measurements so perfect, but they fit perfectly. And there's a white limo and a black limo. Who wishes to go in the white limo and who wishes to go in the black limo? And which one's arriving first?
I look over at Tom and go, white limo's yours, Tom. It's very Vegas, very gauche.
I was
Come on,
just
let's
going
get
to
in the
say
black
the
one,
same
guys.
thing. I was
All
just
right.
gonna say the same
Tom, are
thing.
you arriving before them or are you arriving after them? And it could
Oh.
be as simple as, your two cars arrive at the same time.
I would probably choose to arrive after them, as I don't think I've been in a place where I've chosen to arrive fashionably late. He calls it fashionably late. Everyone else just calls it late and
Well,
annoyingly.
recognize that the fact that the gala starts at 6:45 doesn't mean they don't start letting people in at 5:30.
Right.
So you don't want to miss the actual gala, but
No.
yeah, you could definitely get there at 6:45 and be fine.
Oh yeah, I mean, and by behind them, I mean 2 or 3 cars.
Okay, fair
I'm
enough.
making one unnecessary left and just enough to sort of give a little space, but at the same time, not so much that I lose them in the crowd.
Okay, excellent.
I
As
I
you
am
arrive,
Shalom.
yeah, go
I
ahead.
am going to take my gun with me in my pocket, but still wrapped up in the evidence bag with what looks like an evidence tag attached to it.
Okay. Is anyone else taking any weapons, knives, guns, anything?
I'm taking knives and a pistol.
Okay.
I'll take a scalpel or two.
A scalpel or two. Okay.
Nice.
You obviously didn't play 4 weeks ago. Anyway, so as you arrive at the Philadelphia Museum of Natural History, you do see a long line of limousines. Can be seen parked down the street at the designated parking area. There's a bright red carpet that has been placed coming down the steps that leads up to the entrance to the museum. Women in elegant dresses with long fur coats, men in tuxedos. They're moving very quickly up the stairs in the uncomfortably warm weather, as it is August in Philadelphia. So it's hot, humid, and there's flies. At the top of the stairs, you see an obvious security checkpoint with a standing metal detector. A man in a tuxedo is displaying what appears to be a handgun to one of the security officers in a black suit. After a short discussion, the man signs a clipboard and is allowed into the museum. And you can see that the gun is placed in a rolling cart, and he is given the key to the drawer that it was put in.
As we're wheeling up, I pull out of my jacket pocket 2 Mario adhesive mustaches. One I put on me, and the other I tear in 2 and put on each of my eyebrows, so that I have these ridiculous, dark, big, overdone Mario features getting out of the car.
Do you actually have the disguise skill?
I believe I do. Yes, I do.
Go
At
ahead.
5%. And
All right, well, go ahead and roll that for
reflects
me.
the accuracy of this disguise.
Yes, it does. So
41.
41. Okay, so not quite. Would you like to burn luck on that?
No, sir.
No.
I'm
Okay, I figured not.
All I wanted to do is obscure my face. I don't care if they talk about it the next day.
Oh, they'll be talking about Groucho Marx who came to visit. You easily are able to get out of the limousines and get up to the security line. Do you provide your weapons prior to going through the metal detector?
I actually let Rosie go first because she is a lady.
Enough.
And I tell her that. I say, after you, ma'am.
Well, thank you.
You hand over your knives.
Yeah, I'm just gonna I'm not gonna like try to smuggle it in.
Okay. And they'll have you sign it. They'll write down what you gave them, and they'll put it in the drawer, lock it, and give you the key. Once you're on the other side of the metal detector. And they thank you very much because they do warn you anyway. And fortunately, your false teeth don't give it away.
Perfect. Also,
Well, she was in a really bad fight once.
I have one of those plastic keychains that have like spikes on them that you can punch people with.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, Ricky, you hand over your scalpels.
I was gonna ask a question. Does brush nickel? Do they go off in no? I just hand over the scalpel.
Yeah, I
It's
do
fine.
believe they do. Okay, and they do the
It's
same thing.
fine.
They give you a different key for a very small box that's in their rolling cart. And you can see that their rolling cart, it's pretty sturdy looking. With your high spot hidden, that thing could probably take, several sticks of dynamite and still not crack open. You probably break the stuff inside before you got it open. So these gentlemen from the Henderson Security Agency are no joke. All right, Kyle.
I step up. I say, good evening, gents. Good to see Henderson on the job here. That makes me feel safe. I pull out the large, like gallon-sized Ziploc that has a pistol in it and the tag, and I say, please be very careful with this. This is evidence. I do not wish it to be harmed.
Yes, one second, sir. And he walks over, lifts the top of one side you didn't even realize could lift up, and he pulls out an actual evidence bag. It's like, a foot by, 2 feet, and it's got the red markings all over it and everything. And he walks over and he says, please put it in here. I do not wish to touch your evidence.
Thank you very much. I like having my evidence double bagged, but life in the field is often hard. I had to make do with a large Ziploc, but I do put it in there.
And he does it, and he pushes the air out and he seals it, and he puts it in the rolling container, and he comes back and he writes in what it is and that it is evidence and was not touched, and hands the clipboard to you to sign.
I do sign it. Yes, sir.
Now, please enjoy the event.
Do I get a ticket or something?
He gives you the key to the box.
Perfect.
it's
Thank
in.
you very much, sir. Have
You're
a good
welcome.
evening. I put the key into my pocket.
Yep. And so, Miss Jones, you do arrive later, and there are pictures being taken. There is media here because it really is the upper crust. and nobody knows who you people are, so they took like a picture and then just moved on. Mr. Jones arrives in his white limousine as you all are clearing the security station. You can see him getting out, and people are taking copious amounts of pictures. Because he is Tom Jones after all, he may have fallen from grace, but he's still Tom Jones. And I'm sure you're hamming it up.
Oh, I mean, it is the royal wave. It's blowing kisses. It's pointing at people like I know who they are when I do not. Like it's very much that sort of like really like almost slimy level of schmoozing.
And then you realize one of the photographers leans over and goes, "Who's this guy? I don't know." And they just keep taking pictures.
Perfect.
The age of digital pictures where you can't run out of film. And when you get up to the security station, do you have anything to hand over?
I do, technically. I have a roll of nickels. And part of that is for self-defense, and part of it is because it doesn't look out of place when you're in Vegas. So yeah, I kind of forget that I have them, but I also definitely know that I have them.
Yeah, and it goes off when you go through the metal detector, and they want you to go, "Sir, what's in your pocket, sir? Can you show us?"
Absolutely. It's $5 in nickels.
Yes, if you don't mind.
Oh, no, but of course, I assumed that there was probably one of those like pressed penny type deals, but that takes quarters anyway. Have at it, gents. Have a night on the town.
Yes. I'm very familiar with what a roll of nickels can do.
Most certainly.
and he does write on there, roll of nickels, feels light one, and has you sign the clipboard.
100%, absolutely. It's very much like, hey, be careful with that. That may or may not be all the money I have. And
he just kind of like looks at you like shocked because you're at this really expensive event.
I'm just kidding, but seriously, please be very careful with my roll of nickels.
And he hands you the key for your roll of nickels.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Please enjoy the show. Enjoy the party.
You don't have to tell me how to have a good time.
All right, so when you get into the actual affair, you could look at your maps that you were provided during your debriefing or briefing or however you wish to call it, and you can see a couple of different things that are important. You can tell that the information center has actually been turned into a bar, and so there are bartenders inside the information center making drinks and handing them to people. There are actually waiters going around and serving champagne off of trays. Over to the left side at the up escalator in front of that is where there's a buffet table, and there are several workers there keeping it clean and providing all kinds of finger foods. There's a fresh roast beef that's being carved. And to the right by the down escalator in this large area, you see a stage. That was the stage that was being built when you visited before today. And in front of it is a display case. The display case, it has beautiful large wooden foot. It's a glass case. And when you do get close to it, because I'm sure you will, you see that there's padding in there, and there are 6 indentations, 5 long and 1 that would be more of a circle. And you would guess that's where the artifacts will be placed once they are given in. Also, the entire hall has been decorated in a very distinct Mayan flavor. There's large red banners displaying step pyramids. There's the words Mayan Empire hang from the ceiling. On other long banners, there's large floral bouquets along the walls and behind the buffet. And that's what you see, but there's more than 100 people here in the actual area looking around and talking and conversing. What would you like to do?
I turn to Ricky and Rosie and I say, what do you say? Shall we split up or stay together? What's your preference?
Do we
I think
do
for
we have
now
a-
we could probably split up. It's a party.
Ricky?
do we have a way to contact each other besides
You have your burner phones.
besides the burner phones?
Only if you've given information to each other on your regular
Well,
phones.
I pull out my phone and go, I've got your contact information, Ricky.
I don't have
Yeah.
a color phone, so
All right. So
I
you
think
can
at this
contact
point-
each other through your burner phones.
I think at this point we probably should split up to see as much as we can see. Rosie, I'm sure you're good at noting security cameras and stuff, right?
yeah, I actually went through yesterday and made a map of it all.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, and she pulls out a little brochure that the museum
Ooh.
gives out. She's got little
Ooh.
marks on it. but
Can
you
I
don't know
can
what
I
they
add
mean.
some notes to your map?
Absolutely.
Cool. I'll go over and sit in one of the alcoves and work on this. I pull out my pad and you see I've got like 4 pages of notes on my pad. I'll transcribe the important stuff.
All right.
Okay. Don't get too crazy.
Okay, so what you can see also on the map, since you're looking for security, at the bottom of the escalator, there across from the escalator, there's entrances into the other sections of the museum, so that the arid region and the oceans are to the left, and then the rock collection and the rainforest is to the right. They're standing there just on the other side of stanchions that are blocking those areas off. And so they're able to watch both entrances at the same time. And Kyle, you do see Guard Robinson that you had talked to 2 days before.
Oh, great. I will walk over to him and say, good to see you again, Robinson.
I'm sorry, sir. I talked to so many people, I don't recognize you. I beg your forgiveness.
That's fair. You don't have to beg at all. Is there a place I can sit down for a moment and transcribe some notes, like a flat top, like a desk or anything like that?
Well, there are chairs set upside, and you can see that they're set, next to where the bathrooms are, up against
Okay.
the wall for people to rest if they want. But we don't really have a desk area. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll make do. I'll see if I can find a clipboard or something. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Certainly. And he is actually the one over by the rock formations on the right side by the down escalator.
Okay. I'll see if I can intercept Tom when I see him come in, and I'll just whisper
Easily
in his-
done. Because
Yeah.
people are like, who is that? They're not sure if they want to talk to him or not, because he does have that sleazy vibe, but he looks important. So he
I
could be a
lean in-
politician.
Yeah, I lean in and whisper, free food is over there, along
And
with
you
the
can see the buffet
drinks.
tables.
Yeah. And I kind of lean back, shaking his hand and looking at the crowd, going, it's Tom Jones, everybody.
I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'll meet you over there if you need me.
And you hear comments like, I thought he was taller. I thought he was
Oh.
dead.
I thought he was older.
I thought he was talented.
I
Oh wait,
wa-
that's
and then
me.
walk
I mean,
towards- And then I walk towards the chairs
Omega
and sit
Control, what is the first vote? So, Ricky, where do you want to go out here? What do you want to do?
Suspiciously.
No. That was for me, not you.
You say we I'm
So
just
you
gonna
can-
go to the
You can go
bar.
anywhere you want. You can go look at the display case. You can try and talk to Lord Gasdenberry. You can see him over there. He's
Oh, he's
surrounded by
there?
a group of people. Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, let's I'll try to inch my way to get to the front of his little crowd. Try to-
You'll be working on that, and what you're
Yeah.
hearing is people, of course, want to know where did he get these items? Where did he find them? They want to know about his adventures. People cycle in and cycle out as he talks to them, and you will eventually get to talk to him, but it's going to take a little while. But he won't give away the secret. He says he'll tell it all when the presentation happens. You'll all hear it at the same time. I don't want to ruin the surprise. And so that's what he's doing. He seems to be a very well-educated, well-spoken Englishman. But Kyle,
Yes, sir.
you see a gentleman, obviously of Hispanic origin, moving very suspiciously through the crowd towards Lord Gasdenberry, almost like he's planning to do something, but he's trying not to be obvious. But you're sitting there and you can absolutely see him doing it.
May I make a psychology roll to determine what his intent is? generally?
Absolutely, he's being very suspicious.
I got half, so I got a
Good success.
Yeah, big success.
He does not seem to be armed, but he is laser focused on Lord Gazdenberry.
In that case, I will put my notes and map back into my jacket pocket for a moment and just move over in their direction so that I am within hearing distance, but I am not paying specific attention to them. I am surveying them.
Okay. Rosie, with your high spot hidden, you're able to see that Kyle has taken interest in someone, and you're able to determine who it is. And you can see that this gentleman is obviously, and you can look out at your handout 4 if you wish. He's a bearded gentleman. He's starting to turn silver. He's got some silver in his beard. He's got a full mustache. His hair's just starting to turn silver. Looks like he's in his early 50s maybe, but well worn by the sun. So he spends a lot of time outside. He is wearing a very nice tuxedo, but he has not taken his eyes off of Lord Gazdenberry since you noticed him. And Kyle has moved close, but is not intercepting at this time.
Yeah, I think I'm also going to try and get within a distance where I can hear like conversation that might occur, but I don't want to approach him yet.
Okay.
Does he appear like South American from one of the South American countries? Okay.
Central or South American.
Okay.
Yeah, he definitely has that appearance. As a matter of fact, make me an idea roll, Kyle, because you may have noticed something in your research.
My idea would be really
it's your intelligence. So
again.
Tom, I'll come back to you with that. But Tom, how much of the buffet are you eating?
I'm pretending to peruse discerningly, but really it is just it's a lot of like grabbing a thing, eating it, discovering it's like something that's way above the richness of my palate, where I'm just like just like into a napkin, and then like so it's more of a sampling than it is.
So you end up with bread. Is that what you're saying?
It's a lot of bread
and butter,
and,
maybe a little bit of cheese.
Yeah, I was gonna say some crackers, the occasional grape.
Okay. Yeah, and there's nice fruit. There's actually chocolate covered fruit and things like that as well. So there's plenty of food, and it's very expensive. You can tell it's very expensive.
Oh,
and it's one of those where as soon as something's taken, they put another one there.
I also want it to be very clear that if there's anything that I know is rich, where I'm just sort of like, if they have caviar, I'm going to put too much on a tiny plate. I'm not going to eat it. I just want it there as like the symbol of the fact that it's something that someone of my caliber would eat to a quantity.
Easily done.
I'm not going to eat it. But
so you take some lobster bites and some other things like that.
And you've just got like 5 spoons filled with caviar, because you can't just have a pile of it.
No.
So you want to be seen with it. It's like renting a Lamborghini for your high school reunion.
100%. I'm using this buffet as a status symbol.
Perfect.
Which is not at all the purpose of this buffet.
Perfect. Those of you that are watching this gentleman that's moving towards Lord Gazdenberry, he is kind of hovering around the outside. He's much like Ricky. He's moving towards, getting closer and closer to Lord Gazdenberry. Ricky, Lord Gazdenberry turns to you and goes, "Oh, hello. I don't believe I've ever met you. Lord Gazdenberry."
Lord Gazdenberry, huge.
And he extends
fan.
his hand, and he has got huge hands. I mean, he is a big guy.
And I shake his hand, like a fan. Just both hands just clasp him, like just huge fan, big fan of your work. I follow you on all the expeditions. I'm just speechless right now.
It's okay. I understand. I have that effect on people.
Yes, you do. I just wanted to say, I'm excited for this exhibit and for you to reveal these. What are they? Can you remind me?
Well, I don't want to give away too much, as I've been telling everybody else. It's very simple. I came across these artifacts. They're Mayan. There's 5 daggers and a bowl. And they're all made of obsidian. They're gorgeous. And they almost look like the day they were made. But then again, obsidian is that kind of thing. It doesn't really fade away. It just stays sharp. So yes, but that's really all I can say. Trust me, you'll hear it all. You'll hear the whole story during the presentation. And it's at that point that the guy you guys have been talking to jumps in front of Ricky. He jumps in front of you and he starts yelling at Lord Gazdenbury. You stole these artifacts. You must return them. You stole them from our building. You're not allowed to have these. And he just starts tearing into him.
Watching Gazdenbury for his
Gazdenbury
reaction.
takes a step back and looks at him like, you would say that the look on his face is, you incredulent fool. That's really the look on his face, as two security guards who you just thought were people that were just kind of hanging around him. You didn't even recognize that they were security. Grab him by the arms and drag him away and drag him out the front door.
Could I use my psychology skill to try and parse out which person I think is lying?
Sure, go for it.
I do like the idea as well.
Oh, I barely missed.
Well, would you like to spend some luck?
Yeah, it'll be 2 points.
All right. So with those 2 points of luck spent, what you can tell is that the gentleman who's being so nicely escorted out of the building, dragged while screaming, he believes he's absolutely telling the truth. And Lord Gazdenbury didn't deny anything. He just, looked at him like he was an incredulent fool. And, well, Lord Gazdenbury believes he is an incredulent fool. But he didn't deny it. But you can see that he's used to this kind of thing. He's used to people challenging his findings and threatening and being that way. Now, Kyle, what was your idea roll? I'm sorry, I never got back to you.
My idea roll was less than half again.
Okay, so you actually recognize this guy. His name is Emmanuel Talavera.
Okay.
He is an archaeologist from Honduras. And flipping through your notes, because you were looking at things, he's actually associated with the Honduran Institute of Anthropology and History. He's actually a fellow there.
Okay.
So he is a long way from home.
The artifacts. Yeah, he would know about the artifacts.
Yes.
From watching, I'm kind of on the same thing Rosie is, which is watching Gazdenbury. Did he look like a guilty man enjoying being immune to prosecution?
He looked like he was enjoying it completely.
Okay.
Prosecution, you would definitely get the feeling, and both of you would have the feeling that he absolutely believes there is nothing anyone can ever do to hurt him.
I guess what I'm really trying to get at more, Sholem, is if I call you a liar, I may believe it. You may or may not believe it. He was called a thief. Did he believe it? I mean, he may not think he's ever going to get caught, but did he believe it? Does he think he's putting
with that role with a good success? Yes, he absolutely has stolen something in the past. Whether it's these items, you're not sure.
Okay, that's fair. That's all I'm looking for.
All right,
and I'll walk by Rosie and whisper into her ear that is my assessment of him, having watched many people in interrogations get broken on stuff like this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say the same thing, just based on my experience trying to figure out when people are lying and who's telling the truth, that it really seems like the guy who was screaming was being honest.
Well, yeah, he absolutely did seem to be honest.
Yeah, he definitely had conviction. He's actually a Honduran archaeologist. He's with the Honduran government. So he would know about these items, and his conviction would lead me to believe that his claim is probably true-ish for sure, whereas Gadsden seems to play fast and loose with the law, perhaps.
Ricky,
this is a common problem in the museum archaeology field, with people stealing artifacts and then trying to say that they discovered them. So maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm well aware, for sure.
So Ricky, do you want to say anything else to Lord Gazdenbury? I mean, he seems to go right back into conversation with you.
I guess, so I suppose you get that a lot, huh?
Oh, you don't want to know how often that happens. Of course, everybody thinks I steal these artifacts. I have such good luck.
Luck does have a lot to play in it. I just want to look around and lean in a little bit. All right, I know you want to wait until the reveal to let everyone know. But I just gotta ask, especially after it just happened. I just gotta ask, where did you find them?
He puts his hand on your shoulder and he leans in and he goes, "It's a secret," and leans back. And everybody's like leaning forward, like, "What did he say? What did he say?"
I look around.
Because
Like he just told
said
me.
it really slow, so like it was like he was talking to you for a while, saying more than 2 words. And he steps back and he smiles with a big Cheshire smile. And you see a person tap him on the shoulder, and he turns around and he goes, "Oh, yes. I'm sorry. You'll have to excuse me. I'm needed for the presentation." And he turns and picks up a new glass of champagne on the way up to the stage, and gets up there. And he's standing up there for just a moment, and all of a sudden the buzz of discussion about, well, why hasn't he started? What's going on? It fades away as people look up, and you notice that there is a man standing up on the second floor balcony railing in a very large, colorful robe made of feathers, and that he is looking down very intently at everyone below. He raises his hands to the sky and speaks in a thunderous voice. Language is unknown, but eerily familiar. As he finishes, the oppressive silence in the hall is broken by the sound of footsteps and a low chanting coming from the entrance hall in the Oceans exhibit. A group of cowled monks walk into the room, each of them carrying an item in their black gloved hands. The first carries a large bowl with a dark stain on the inside and obvious painting on the outside. The next 5 monks each are carrying an obsidian dagger before them, with the blade held skyward. They approach the large glass case in turn and place the items inside, then step back, bow their heads, and leave the hall the way they came in. Lord Glastonbury steps forward and presents the items in the case to Dr. Lowry. "Ladies and gentlemen, I encountered these amazing obsidian sacrificial knives in the bowl while on excursions in Central America. I was not looking for them, but I found them." And he just starts talking. And it's such a long-winded story that goes nowhere with no real facts at all, other than it was an unknown ancient Mayan city in Honduras.
Him and Tom could be friends.
And so he's a blowhard. After the story, though, Dr. Lowry turns to Lord Glastonbury. Dr. Lowry is actually the head of the museum. And you didn't realize that at first, but on the brochure, you could see his picture. On behalf of the Philadelphia Museum of Natural History, I would like to thank you for this priceless donation that will help further our studies. Turning to the crowd, he says, "Thank you for attending this very special occasion. Please enjoy the refreshments and music. The exhibits will open shortly for your perusal." As the chamber music begins to play, Dr. Lowry and Lord William Glastonbury will step off the riser. Suddenly, the power goes out, plunging the hall into utter darkness. Within seconds, the emergency lights are activated, providing some light, just enough to get around. Dr. Lowry returns to the riser, raising his hand, saying, please remain calm. The lights should be back on momentarily." You could see that the 2 gentlemen that drug the doctor out the door, who was raising a ruckus, and one other man circle around Lord Glastonbury and move him underneath the down escalator behind a curtain. And you can see that they've each pulled out a firearm of some type as they go through the curtain. They were obviously his personal security. I will say, Kyle, based on your knowledge of the Henderson Security Agency, those must be them. Those must be 3 of their units, so to speak. There's 3 other people.
It's what I would do.
Yeah. And so a woman, you hear a woman scream in panic, and she's pointing at the doors. And you can see on the outside that the security is trying to open the doors and they can't. But yet all the street lights are on outside and in the buildings across the street. So the power failure seems to be isolated to the museum.
I hold up what appears to be a badge, say, "Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm. We have a localized power issue. calm down, enjoy the food, enjoy your drinks. We will get it returned to normal.
Okay.
I put it away and I turn to the museum director and I say, get it returned to normal, please.
Well, and Dr. Lowry's actually talking to Robinson, the guard Robinson, and he's like, all right, go turn off the security. I'm not sure why we had a lockdown. This doesn't make any sense. And Robinson leaves. Now Robinson goes across the entire room and through the doorway by the up escalator into the arid regions and moves into that area. People are, a little nervous that they can't get out, but there's some laughing and some giggling over, oh, well, we're trapped in the building. Oh, it's a shame there's so much alcohol and food to eat. And, so there's some of that, but then there's also some people who are, not used to being trapped. And so they're a little worried. Is there anything else you wonderful people would like to do?
Tom, maybe you could get up on stage and do a little bit of singing to keep the crowd's mind off of, the electricity thing. Some electricity to divert attention from the electricity.
Most certainly. I will create an electric vibe in the room. I'll keep things humming and
so you're going to get up on the stage and begin to sing?
By stage, I probably...
There actually is a stage.
Oh, in that case, then yes. I was going to say probably on a table adjacent to the stage, but yeah, if there's an actual stage, then yeah, he'll get up
there. There's a stage with a microphone.
Perfect.
And the microphone doesn't work, but you still use it as a prop.
Oh, no, he's going to talk into it exactly as though it was working.
Okay, so as you open your mouth, he's like literally like, there's this horrendous blood-curdling scream that comes from the left side of the museum.
I turn to Ricky. And say, he's really not very good.
And but if that's possible, he threw his voice into the arid region and it came out. You can see that Dr. Lowry and the other security guard have quickly started moving in that direction.
A shark tank.
Well, they're going into the arid region. Shark Tank would be to the north.
Yeah.
So, does anybody, what do you wish to do?
I'm going to investigate the arid region.
Okay.
I go where the scream was.
Yeah.
Right.
I will probably try to do a little crowd control. I don't know if charm would help, but just be like, please, we've got it under control. No need to crowd that room. It's being handled, and we'll get reports to you as soon as we can. And the whole time, my eyes are just screaming.
Do you have persuasion?
I look wild and panicked.
Do you have persuasion?
I do. Let's see. So I know that I've got charm.
Or do you have performance?
I do, I believe.
Okay, so go ahead and roll that for me. Ricky, you were saying.
Oh, I was gonna go toward the screen with
Okay.
with Kyle.
All right. You actually can. The three of you can actually follow Dr. Lowry and the other security guard through the arid region, and the security guard pulls out a key and unlocks a door that says staff only. See, next to it is a card reader, but it obviously is powered down. And then they open the door and they go in. And they head straight across through another doorway that he also has to unlock.
I scramble quickly to follow them so that the doors don't close and lock us out.
Okay, easily done.
I'm motioning Ricky and Rosie to come.
So when the second security guard, not Robinson, who you had been talking to, all of a sudden, when he opens the door that's directly across, and you can look at your map and see it, it's directly across, he stops dead in his tracks and doesn't move. And the Dr. Lowry walks into him and is like, what are you doing, you fool? Move. And the second guard is just standing there, and you can hear him exhaling and inhaling like he's having a panic attack.
Peek over his shoulder.
Sure. What you can see is that there is a body lying on the floor on its stomach. But unfortunately, Robinson's head has been turned all the way around so that even though his stomach is on the ground, his head is looking at the ceiling. Sanity check. Need a sanity check, sir.
95.
yeah.
Pretty sure I failed.
Yeah, that's not a good one. So that is what you see in your glance.
I rear back. I look at Ricky and say, "You need to take a look at this. His head is unnaturally turned around. It is the man is dead."
And Lowry's like, "What are you talking about? The man is dead." And he looks around and goes,
I look at
and kind of walks away.
I
and
look at
throws up in the
Lowry.
corner.
I look at Lowry and put a hand on his chest. I go, "You're in charge here. We need some calm."
And
Let
he
this
throws up
man-
in the corner.
Okay.
As you're trying to calm him down. At least he
I'll
didn't throw up on you.
That's fair. I'll continue doing that while Ricky has a chance to do his thing.
Okay. You're going to have to move the other security guard. It's not going to be hard. You can just pull him out of the way. But
Yeah.
he is not moving.
Yeah, let's just move him out of the way. Send him down in a corner.
Okay. So now that you're in here, you can see as well that there's a control box on the wall, and there were wires that were going into the bottom and down through the top, and they're all pulled out. Matter of fact, the box itself looks like it's almost pulled off the wall, like it was pulled with enough force or torn with enough force that it almost pulled out of the wall by the bolts that were holding it in place. And that there is an emergency exit in this room that would leave by the western side of the building. Now, I need you to make me a forensics roll for me, sir.
Let's see if I remember how to do this. Show me forensics. That is the 100 is the first number, right? And then the 10 is all right. So 43.
43. And what is your forensics?
Forensics is 51.
Okay, so you succeeded. This man's head has been forcibly twisted around 180 degrees, and you can see that there are small cuts on the side of his neck, as if somebody had shoved their fingernails in while they twisted.
And can I surmise the type of fingernails? Are they like regular fingernails or claws?
So they look like normal fingernails, like, you know, the half crescent, you know, the crescent shape that you would see, but they're about an inch deep.
Oh.
And I'm not having you make a sanity roll because you do this for a living.
They're about an inch deep. So
Yes.
either
Rosie, are you looking in the room?
Yeah.
Okay, so make me a sanity roll and then make me a spot roll.
Okay, my sanity roll is 26.
Okay.
Ooh, I got a half for
Good
spot.
success.
Good.
All right. So you see the same thing. You see that the wall, the power's been torn out. And you also see that on the fire exit, there are some wires running along the outside edge down from the top where the magnet is, which is unusual because wires like that should be inside the door frame, not outside. And when you go and you look, it's a push button. Somebody has put a small, almost imperceivable push button with two wires that go up to the magnet on the door.
Huh.
And with that, we're going to stop because it's time for us to take a break. What are those magnets? What does the wires do? What happened to this body? We'll find out when we come back. So don't go away. We'll be back in 10 minutes. And I believe there's an announcement that needs to be done by Sean.
Let's see. All right. Yeah. Jumping on in. Mid-show announcements. There it is. Remember, we are giving away a mystery dice set from our friends at 1985 Games. Check them out at 1985games.com and use the code TGT10. That's the letter T, the letter G, the letter T, then the number 1010 to get 10% off your order. And for 2 weeks only, you can gear up your whole game group or treat yourself to a Dragon's Horde with buy 6 and get 2 free on our new and improved mystery dice. So type !epic, that's !EPIC, epic, once you see the notice in the chat that the raffle is live. You must be a resident of the US or Canada, excluding Quebec. That's right. Sorry, Quebec. And you must be a follower to enter. We'll continue to take entries until the end of the stream, so be sure you stick around, as you must be present in the chat for the staff to contact you when we pick our winner. If not, then we will draw a new winner, so don't miss out.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We'll be back soon. Please don't go away because it's about to get really interesting. All right, welcome back, everybody. Sorry for the long wait, but we needed a break. So where we were, but first for where we were, don't forget to vote in the chat because your vote determines what happens going forward in this this adventure to our poor investigators. So please don't forget to vote. That second vote is going to be coming to the end in about probably 10 minutes. So go do it now while you have your chance. Our investigators have found the body of a security guard inside of the museum that was sent to turn the power back on. He's laying on his stomach currently, but looking at the ceiling because his head has been completely turned around. Our Rosie Stone has noticed that the emergency exit door has some strange wires coming down from the magnet that's holding it shut on the top. And there's a button. Not sure what the button does yet, but we'll find out. And Ricky has also been busy checking out the body and found fingernails have been dug into the neck where the head was turned around. They're about an inch deep. They appear to be human. So, with that said, let's go ahead and start with Mr. Jones. How was your persuasion roll or your performance roll?
Oddly enough, it was spectacular. It was a 9. So
a 9.
Yeah,
okay.
So like I did shockingly well.
you know what? You surprised even yourself. You actually started to believe your own BS.
I sounded confident. Sure.
People are calming down up until the police officer comes up and starts using a portable battering ram on the door, trying to break the lock of the magnetic holding there. So yeah. They were fine until the door started being banged.
Yep.
Now, we'll go back to Rosie. What are you going to do with those wires?
I want to like kind of take a look at them and see if I can figure out from like a technical standpoint what they're supposed to do.
Do you have electrical repair?
Probably.
Which is a skill that is very underused by people. It allows you to fix all kinds of electrical equipment.
We've got a good 10%, so.
Oh, well, go for it.
No.
While you're doing that, Kyle, you're comforting Dr. Lowry, and he says, yes, you're right. I need to go settle. Yes. And he seems to be very ashen faced, but he does dab his mouth with his handkerchief to remove any flecks of vomit that is still there.
I help clean him up.
And then moves back into the arid region.
I help clean him up and I kind of settle him. I say, okay, professional, keep the crowd okay. This is a terrible accident, but OSHA will figure it out.
Yeah,
we're
good.
Good.
Yes,
we're good.
Yes. And he wanders back into the arid region. Ricky, you don't really think there's anything else you could tell about this body until, there's some time for bruises to appear. So this is very fresh. You don't normally get them this fresh, being a forensic surgeon.
One more thing I want to ask.
Yes.
Can I tell which direction he was grabbed from?
From behind.
Okay.
Yes, it was from behind and then twisted all 180 degrees.
All right.
Okay. All right, Rosie, how'd you do?
Bad.
Bad. How bad?
Well, I definitely didn't get it. I'm like 25 points off.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you meant like 99 or something.
No, not that bad.
You don't really know what that's for. You're guessing that, maybe if you push the button, the magnet might turn off.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at now.
I mean, that's the only logical thing.
Just gonna push it.
Well, you gonna try the door first?
Sure.
Okay, it says do not open, alarm will sound.
Oh, I'm probably gonna press the button first.
Okay, you press the button. You don't hear anything, it's just a button.
So now I'm gonna press the button and open door at the same time.
The door does not move. No, nor does an alarm sound when you push the bar.
I wander over where Rosie is. I go, what do we have here, Rosie?
Well, we got there's some wires sticking out from up here, and they're leading to this button that we've got here. And the door, it says that when you press it, the alarm will sound. However, it won't open. But there's also no alarm. So,
That's very odd.
the sign is lying on 2 counts. And I'm not really sure what these wires are doing.
Well, let's trace them. Can I make an electronics repair also, Shoulder?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ricky, you can see that they're looking at the door very intently.
I got an +2 on that.
Okay. What you believe is that this absolutely was a way for the thieves to open the door after the power was cut.
What thieves?
Well, remember, you're here to stop a burglary or a
Oh.
theft. So you're putting 2 and 2 together here. Well, actually 4 and 29, but coming up with 2.
So looking at this door, how does it work? Do you
So
push the button and then you can push the door
button,
open?
Push the door and it would open.
Okay.
It releases the magnet. It reverses the magnetism as long as the button is pushed, but it's not working. Whether it has worked and it's no longer working, you're not sure, but it's not working.
Is there any way to take a look at the door and figure out if that has happened in the last 10 minutes or so?
Can't tell.
Okay.
Now,
On a not 2, I would have given that to you, but you can't tell if it's already been used or not. But it's definitely not working the way it was designed, at least now.
Does it look like something my character would have used, like when she was actually working? Like robbing banks and stuff?
It's something that you might have come across, but your stuff was more get it into the lock and it's there, so when you need it, you can use it. This was a jury rigged effect.
Yeah,
and you can see where they spliced into the power lines on top of the magnet.
Okay. One thing I definitely want to do is go get my weapons from that little box that I have the key.
You mean
to.
the box that's outside the front door?
Oh, it's outside of the front door?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't get that part.
Yeah, that was all at the top of the stairs.
Well, that's not happening.
Are there any tool benches or anything like that back here?
So to your right is the actual boiler room.
Okay.
And you see that door, the sign on the door. And when you go in there are tools to be found.
Okay. Rosie, let's
and the
get
guard
back
also
into the-
has a collapsible baton and a stun gun on him.
I try to get the guard to shake it off and come around. little bit.
You can make me a persuasion.
I do.
Okay. Or is your psychology higher? Which one?
My
Roll the one that's higher and
persuasion-
let me know.
I roll
Well,
persuasion.
Yeah, you said he had a stun baton and a thingy.
Yeah, it's a collapsible baton and a stun gun. A
Yeah,
one-shot stun gun.
Yeah, I'll just abscond with those off of our dearly departed friend.
Okay.
Good call. As I see him doing that, I look over at Ricky and I do this. I go,
Yeah, I also he get what he's gesturing for, and I just
Be the
a quick
keys,
nod.
yes.
Yeah, the keys. A quick
keys
nod.
to the kingdom.
Quick
that's as
nod,
close
and
as
I
we get
grab
to
the keys.
Thieves' Cat in this game.
So how did you do on your roll?
I got a 33 out of 55.
Okay.
So it's a success.
You're able to bring him around and he's like, what, Jack?
He appears to be dead. Something has killed him or he suffered a terrible accident. But you panicking will not help any of that. You can't bring him back. We need to protect the rest of these people.
Yes. Yes. You can see that his name tag says McHenry on it.
That's what you're paid for, McHenry.
Yes. Yes. And he turns and he walks out the door into the air.
I tap him on the shoulder. May I have either your stun gun or your baton so that we can protect ourselves while we are trying to investigate this? I am an officer. I hold up my ID, which is
perfect. Well, as stunned as stated he is, then he just hands them both right to you. Yes, sir, yes, officer, and he hands them to you.
Perfect. Okay,
and
you
he
go
staggers
protect.
back
Go
out.
protect the museum director now. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I'm going.
Right.
I'm going.
You'll be okay. You will be okay. Pull it together, buddy. Pull it together.
I'm going. And he
Get your
wanders
head
off
in the
through
game,
air
buddy.
reach.
Come on.
Yeah. I look over at Rosie and go, yeah, that's it. Does he leave?
Yes, he left.
Okay. I walk over to Rosie and I hold out the two. I say, which one do you want?
I'll take the baton.
Alrighty.
Now,
I
the baton is, I can give you some information on that. It uses your fighting brawling, and it does a D6 plus your damage bonus. The stun gun, on the other hand, it has a maximum range of 14 feet, which uses firearms pistol, or you can touch someone with it using fighting brawling.
Ooh, I think
Fair
I'd
enough.
rather have the stun gun then.
Okay.
I'm better with guns.
So
Alrighty.
that's these weapons that you've acquired.
I give her the
Tom.
stun gun.
Ah, it's
Okay.
loud.
Tom, you see that Dr. Lowry comes wandering back into the main room, looking a little pale, and within 5 minutes, behind him comes the other security guard, and he comes over and he starts talking to Dr. Lowry, and then people start coming over, going, "Why aren't the lights on? Why aren't the lights on?" Do you all want to let Tom Jones know what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's-
Rosie, I'm going to go out and help Tom with that crowd real quick. While
You'd
y'all
always just
finish-
call him on the phone. You have your burner.
No, I don't trust. No.
Fair enough.
I think I'm going to go be the face for just a moment. This is less entertainment and more crowd control.
That's
Okay.
fine. I can handle myself.
Yeah, you and Ricky got this. Ricky, how does he look, by the way? What did that to him?
Human.
Human, incredibly strong human with long nails.
So it sounds like we're looking for maybe a circus performer or a muscle-bound nail tech.
An Amazon. A long
An
finger,
Amazon.
a well manicured Amazon.
I know a few of those. Oh,
Watch your backs, guys. Have cover for each other. I'll be back as soon as possible.
Yeah, are you gonna check the boiler room? Make sure there's nothing in the boiler room.
That's why
I'll let you think about that one while Kyle goes out into the main
that's
hall.
where I was directing Rosie. She and I were going to go in there a minute ago, but since I'm going to go do this, I'm going to let her take care of that.
All right, so we'll go back to the boiler room. Rosie and Ricky. It's just the door says boiler room, and there's all kinds of equipment and stuff in here. This is where the HVAC, the downstairs HVAC is. There's more, the big stuff's on the roof. There's other electrical panels in here. The one that was in the hall was really just a security panel. That's not the actual main panel setup. That's like it's several panels, big boxes on the walls that are about 6 feet high. And then there's also the boiler, which is powered by oil, of all things.
Ricky, do you think you can figure out which one of these breakers shut down all the power in here?
I'll give it a look-see.
You
See what
actually can just
happens.
point right back at the one that had been torn out of the wall, because it would appear that all the power goes through there, and sets the controls.
That does look like a problem.
Big problem.
And it would take a while to reconnect the power through there.
In that case, I think Rosie's just gonna kind of look around the room and see if there's any other things that look like they've been messed with, or
Okay.
any other evidence of like tampering.
Okay. With your incredibly high spot hidden skill, you don't find anything else out of place. You are able to find a nice big wrench, though, that could be used as a club.
I'll take it.
It's not unwieldy, it's just a big club. All
Perfect.
right.
Here you go,
We'll-
Ricky, if you need a weapon.
I have, and I raise a stun gun and a baton. I think I'm good for.
Ah,
He
I'll
already
save-
looted
I'll
the
save
body.
this for Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
He already looted the bodies.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not playing a thief instead of a surgeon?
Hey,
Because you were looting the body
sometime-
awful quick.
Sometimes those bodies come in the morgue. They still got things on them. You can, find a thing or two in the pockets.
Have
Okay.
you seen what surgeons charge? You think?
Yeah. So Kyle, you come out and people are on the verge of panic, but they're not freaking out. They're some of them are still laughing nervously. And Dr. Lowry is trying to explain that the power's out, that it's going to be fixed. Don't worry, we have experts on it. It'll be open hopefully within 15 minutes. He's just trying to calm people down. And Tom Jones is just still amazed at himself for actually inspiring this group to not be afraid. And he's not afraid either.
Great. So I wander up on stage next to Tom, and I lean down behind him and I whisper in his ear, Tom, you need to get the crowd to understand there's been an accident. We've had some sort of electrical failure, and one of the guards is injured badly, but they are in no danger. They should stay here quietly, and we will wait for the police to enter the building.
Do people need to know all that?
Most certainly. What I will do is I will turn and sort of relay sort of the dust jacket version, which will be, good people, fine peers, important folks, rich among all of us. I mean, who here is it, right? Anyway, listen to me for just one moment. We've had a very small incident involving another adjacent room. The security here is so good, so robust to keep everything and everyone safe that we are incurring the foremost upper echelon tier quality of that said security. How there has been a slight incident. It is being handled by professionals, so please do not rubberneck, looky-loo, take selfies. Let the professionals do as they will. Create a little space. Otherwise, have an hors d'oeuvre. Have 3 hors d'oeuvres. Make an hors d'oeuvre. Make a friend. Do what you feel. The point is enjoy yourself while you're here, but do kindly stay the heck away from that general area and let the professionals work. Thank you so very much for your time. No, thank you. No.
And people are kind of like looking, what's over there? They're curious, but there's also Dr. Lowry and a security guard standing in the way. So conveniently, that will actually work on some, especially the ones who've been drinking heavily now that the power's out. And others are still, this is just, they don't handle confinement at all. This is not what happens in their lives. Do you then take Mr. Jones back?
I will. I will also, I'll step up after he's done. Again, flashing my badge, which is not a real badge. It's just a private detective security badge. I will say, ladies and gentlemen, if you are still feeling a bit panicked, I would like to recommend what the U.S. Army recommends in its survival manual, which is that you drink heavily. I recommend you go hit the bar and drink a lot. And by the end of the evening, you'll feel no pain. And then I take Tom and begin heading back to where the others are investigating.
Yes. Now the bar is having a problem because without power, they cannot use their soda machine. So they can't make rum and cokes and things, but that's okay. That means it's pure liquor for everyone.
That's what I do. I say shots only.
Well, shots and some mixed drinks. They do have some, orange juice and stuff. And so the bar is very, very busy.
Good.
The Shots and Champagne was I think the name of my 3rd album. It never got produced, but it, I have it written down in a spiral bound notebook somewhere.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Very nice. All right. When
Come with
you
me, Tom.
we
have things to look at.
Yeah. When you get
Ooh.
back to the room, I need you to make me a sanity roll.
Fantastic.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, don't look at that.
He just goes, in here. Oh,
I'm already looking. Oh, no. Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
whoa.
no. How bad?
That's a 94 out of 48.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh like
I
Yes,
was-
I do.
Great.
Tom, I apologize. I should have
Ooh.
prepared you.
It was not what
the-
you believed
injury-
it when he said it was a small accident. You
the
believed
injury
yourself.
The injury looks worse than it is, but he probably is not going to recover. So probably best for you to shield your eyes.
Yeah, it's a little too late, and all that false confidence that you had is gone
Oh yeah.
in a
no,
moment.
I have no doubt. How
Did
much
you pee
sanity
yourself?
How much
Or were you able to
sanity did I lose?
maintain it?
How much sanity did I lose?
Not
We
too
don't know
much.
Oh, fair enough. In that case, it would probably be more of a moment of like, is that man trying to look at his own butt? Why? Why is that man? I don't feel very like. Do you taste pennies? All I taste is pennies. I need to lay down. It's very cold in here suddenly. And yeah, I would say that I've gotten into a very, very mild shock.
Okay, so I want you to make me a spot roll.
Ooh, okay. Spot hidden.
Because you're kind of like, oh, trying not to think.
Just barely missed it.
Okay, do you want to use some luck?
Yeah, I'm gonna use 4 points of luck, bringing me up to a
Alrighty.
rousing success.
Okay, so what you see when you're looking down, trying to go, I didn't see that, is you see some drops of blood on the ground. The body's over there, and you're outside the room.
Good.
And you look for some more, and there is some more, and it appears to be going towards that northern door, which looks like a service hallway.
Mm-hmm.
It
Very
seems
good
to,
eye, Tom.
there's a path. Either it's coming from or to that door. You don't know which.
I will
But
kind
it's
of
like little speckles here and there.
I will kind of point it out and be like, hey guys, in the general interest of not looking at the things that I'm told to not look at, I seem to have found a thing that I wasn't specifically told to not look at, and now I've seen it. Have you guys noticed that? And I'll point at the small speckles of blood. I'll be like, because that door seems like it's got some blood issues.
Yeah, and
look
when
down.
he points it out, you actually see the droplets of blood, and at some point somebody walked through it and then went out into the arid region. It could have been when Dr. Lowry was shuffling his feet. You don't know, but there's definitely a drip pattern to the door.
I see this also.
Yes, once he points it out, everybody can see it.
I look at him. I go, very good eyesight, Tom Jones. You remind me a lot of a New Guinea thresher. Those birds can see very small things.
Thank you.
I lean into the boiler room and go, Rosie and Ricky, are y'all done?
Yeah, there's that much in here.
Tom Jones has found some blood. Come on out and see it.
Oh, I found a weapon for him.
He'll appreciate that.
And it's a wrench about as big as him. No, it's a wrench that's as big as his arm. So,
This is for you.
As Ricky comes out, I get up where he's coming. I say, so Ricky, what is the cause of death?
His head isn't supposed to be turned that way. Yes.
Noted.
Body, something.
I write it down in my pad.
Yeah, it relocated his skull. So what's over here?
Oh, look, it's blood. Tom Jones found it with all the incredible eyesight of a New Guinea thresher.
You have the eyes
Cool
of a
birds.
red.
I got that thresh eyes to look at now.
all right, so you can see the blood trail as well. It's going that way. And Omega Control, you can just tell me 1, 2, or 3 on that, or head, fingers, knees, and toes. Okay. So you're gonna follow the blood trail to the door, I assume?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I turned to Ricky and Rosie and said, do either of you wish to take the point?
I'll stick to the middle. That's fine with me. I'll be in.
Rosie?
What is the point?
The person who follows the trail in the lead.
I don't care. Does it bother you to do it?
Not at all. I simply wish to offer it to the team.
How
We're a
about
team.
you go first and I'll go after you.
That sounds great. Good choice, Rosie. Tom, you'll come at the end.
I like it.
No joke intended.
And Tom,
Like Joe.
that's when you realize that you heard about how the person's head was turned around from the back.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
As he
Yes.
says that and moves towards the door. So, Kyle, when you open the door, it does not require a key because you're already in the service area.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
I do have the baton out in my hand.
Okay.
Because Rosie gave me the baton and she took back the stun gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll open it.
All right. When you open it, it's a service hallway, like you saw in the map that you've been given. It goes a long way back. It appears like it could go all the way back to, maybe the other end of the museum. Not
Okay.
100% sure.
I'll begin following. Can we see it in the emergency light? Can we see the blood trail?
It's very hard to see. When you get close to it, you can see it. Unfortunately, when you're not right up on it, with the floodlights being every so often, there are dark patches, and so it's a little difficult.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Omega Control, what did you say? Okay. So, that said, just to the left on the other side of the door is an elevator. It looks like a big freight elevator.
Okay. So I pull a flashlight out of my jacket pocket and reverse it and turn it on. I've got a black light bulb on one end of it and a normal flashlight bulb on the other,
Okay.
and begin spotting the floor with it to follow the blood trail.
Oh yeah, you could easily follow it. You wouldn't even need that. You could see it with the light. And a matter of fact, as you move forward, you get to where there's a door on your left and it says Geology Lab. That one does have a key card and requires a key. I assume you're going to keep moving forward following the trail.
Will the actual physical keys that Ricky has work in this door?
Yes, they do.
I
open
gesture
that
the
door.
Okay. When you open that door, it does appear to be some kind of lab. It's got clean boxes, where you put your hands in, so you can use acids and things on rocks. There's, it's just a plethora of scientific equipment. But there's no blood trail in here. There's no blood trail leading into the room.
Reverse the flashlight again. Flash the light in with the regular light. Just see if I see anything quickly.
No.
Okay. You seen everything you need to, Ricky?
Yeah.
I don't
you got
see
an
anything.
eyeful? All right.
Yeah,
cool.
this is a big fat donut in my book.
Yeah. Glazed.
Yeah.
Okay, as you move
Honestly,
further
makes
down
sense.
the hall, it's almost like the blood trail is getting. There's more, not a lot more, but there's more. So make of it what you will. You do come across a door on your right that says Shark Tank, but the blood trail keeps going up the hallway.
Do we want to stop and look at the shark tank, or do we want to go ahead and follow the blood trail?
Kind of just want to look at it, just to look at it, but
I agree. Part of me wants to investigate. The other part, I'm insatiably curious.
I've always wanted to see the Shark Tank from behind the scenes.
Agreed. I wonder if it'll be like that one, at that abandoned museum somewhere in Europe where the shark's just been sitting there for a decade, dead in the tank.
I want to see that.
I'd love to see that too. Haven't been there though. Maybe we can do an outing sometime. Maybe we
That
can get
sounds
the home
fun.
office to send us.
All right, when you open that door, what you see is a cement wall, or it looks like a cement wall, because the back of the aquarium is solid. It's opaque. It's not see-through because, well, you have a backdrop. But what you do see is there is a cabinet to the right of the door that holds scuba gear. There's 3 sets of scuba gear. And then there's a ladder that leads up to a platform that's over the shark tank.
Well, I think I've satisfied my curiosity.
Am I
Yeah.
tempted to scuba with the sharks? Yes. Is that what I was hired to do? No. So we should probably keep following the blood.
Agreed.
It was very, very. It was not what you hoped it would be.
How about you, Tom? Do you want to swim with the sharks?
I mean, I brought a couple of sales pitches. I was very misled on what type of sharks they are. I thought that I was going to get to sell a percentage of a company, but it turns out that they're just giant swimming death machines. So I'm very eager to stay away from that if at all possible. So
Fair.
yeah, I say follow that blood. Follow that.
They're more like Shakespearean sharks. They're looking for their pound of flesh, Tom.
Yeah. I totally understand that reference. Boy, do I. And he just puts on an air of confidence and strolls, along, yeah.
All right.
All right, so you're gonna keep moving up.
Yeah.
There is a door to your left that says ancient cultures, and if you open it up, it's another lab. They're obviously doing, there's desks and books, and there's lab counters, and there's another clean box. So they're obviously studying ancient cultures, which would make sense as to why they're very excited to get the sacrificial knives and then also the obsidian bowl. They do actually have a entire lab devoted to ancient cultures.
Fair. But the blood trail doesn't lead in here, does it?
It does not. It keeps going forward, and it's getting thicker and thicker. And as
I look at Ricky, I say, is that really possible for a human body to bleed that much blood? That looks like a lot of blood. And I gesture back along the hallway. How much blood do you think that is, Ricky?
it's really not that much because it's dripped down. Droplets, are just a tiny little bit, and it just spreads because it's that bright red color.
I've definitely bled this much before.
I don't know, Ricky. Have you seen someone bleed that much?
Yeah, this is normal. Serious injury bleeding. Yeah, have you ever drained a body before?
I haven't, but I did ask a waitress once on as a trivia contest how much blood is in a human body. She would not give me my check, and she wouldn't bring me my eggs.
That's awful.
Yeah,
I went hungry that day.
So the trail.
Yes, it's actually getting. There's more blood splatter dripping than there was before. So either the wound is getting worse, or it soaked through whatever is being used to staunch it, and so now it's dripping faster, or maybe it's going the other way.
Well, I'm still spotlighting it so we can follow it, and we still follow it.
Okay. About 10 feet up from there, right before we get to the next door, there's just a head laying in the middle of the hallway.
Whose head is it?
Well, I need sanity rolls because you weren't expecting a head to just be sitting in the hallway. That was not what you expected to happen.
91.
65.
51.
They might keep going sixes in this dice.
Tom.
72.
Oh, Tom. Tom.
Oh, boy.
What are we gonna do with you?
Apparently, leave.
Anyway, it was quite shocking. Whoa! You were not expecting a head. And it's like whoever dropped it just dropped it perfectly, so it's staring right at you when the flashlight hits it.
It's not the head from the guard, is it?
No, it's somebody else's head.
We have 2 decapitations. Well, I mean, honestly, by technical definition, 1 decapitation, 1 near decapitation, like 150% almost.
Right.
So you can make me an idea roll at disadvantage, everybody. That would be fantastic because there's some markings on the face. Can't really tell with all the blood, but and there's some scratches on the face maybe.
My rolls were 1 point different from each other, but I made it.
That's impressive.
Oh, phew, thank goodness. Yeah, made it.
How do you do disadvantage with this again?
So you roll it twice and take the worst roll.
Okay, all right.
Take the higher of the rolls. So
Oh,
I know that's okay. So
97.
Tom and Rosie, you know, that person looks familiar. Wait, it's not the person that looks familiar, it's the makeup. And you realize that was the guy in the feathered robe up on the second balcony.
Oh.
You could tell by the makeup that he had that was painted on his face. And you can see where it hasn't quite been rubbed off well. Like he had started rubbing it off like here, but it's all here and then here.
And he was like a performer, kind of, right?
He certainly seemed to be.
I turned to Tom. I go, Tom, does this appear to have been an actor? Was he taking his makeup off the way an actor does?
Looks like it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's sort of like, I mean, we all do things a little bit differently, but at the same time, like this definitely strikes as a person who is sort of at the end of a shift, if you will.
He was in the middle of something.
Yeah.
And now he's in the middle of the hall.
Yeah.
Now he's at the end of something.
Ah.
Ricky, can you look at the head or the neck and tell us if it's the same method that was used on the guard? Just better.
So Ricky, you don't even need to roll. This person's head was twisted off.
Yep, he got soda capped.
Just twisted all the way around till it popped off.
Yeah. That is
Still
very
look like-
unfortunate way to go.
Still look like long fingernails again.
Well, there are scratches on the face, but no punctures.
So this
Big
was
ass
more of a
scratch.
wrench.
Yeah, like maybe the whole head grab and twist.
Yikes.
Mm.
Yeah. That's,
Any indication of blood leaving this scene, continuing on down the hall?
Oh yes, it keeps going, and actually, it's getting. You can see that on the other side of the head, it's even more prevalent because it obviously was dripping out of the head, severed head.
sure.
Where's the
Right,
body?
Heads are
Not
one.
here, not in the hall.
I point my flashlight down in the blood trail that continues going down the hall. I said, well, the body's probably at the end of this rainbow here, this blood rainbow.
Which means you're following a trail backwards, not to.
I
So,
turn and look down the hall behind us. I say, I wonder what's behind us.
Maybe they're not down this hall, but
Tom Jones is behind you all.
I very
I've had my
very quickly.
suspicions.
I was gonna say I very quickly like turn around and I'm like, ha, ha, ha.
Well, no, you have your big wrench.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can still do kung fu with it. You might knock yourself out, but
Yeah, I'm just sort of brandishing it as though it were something sharp, but it is not.
so
It is.
why do I have the impression that you're the ape from 2001 with the bone? That's
I mean, I would say that I'm slightly more clothed, but I would say that the mentality is virtually the same.
okay. I'm just checking. That's what I see when you do that.
Oh yeah, just sharper dressed, but otherwise not remarkably different.
So the next door on the left, when you do get to it, because I assume you're going to follow this trail.
Well, I look at the team. I say, team, the blood came from behind us. And since the head is here, that means, was it done behind us and brought up the hallway?
No, from the looks of this was done here or further in, and whoever did it came from where we came from. They walked down the hallway.
So I look back up the hallway. I said, should we check that elevator so that we don't get a surprise from behind? Like that
Probably.
person be in the elevator?
They might either
Behind
be.
was my
yeah.
second out.
Let's
do
go
we think?
check it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we head back down the hallway, and I'm
Well, the
picturing
elevator
us
doesn't work
now,
because there's no power.
but we can still open. Is it one that you have to have power
It's
to open the door?
upstairs. It's upstairs.
Okay. So they're not behind us then.
Yeah. So you can crank it open with his wrench.
If
you
it's
can
not
crank
on
it
this
open.
floor, yeah. If it's not on this floor, there's no point to it.
Yeah,
And
it's upstairs.
I turn visibly relieved and say, "Well, it's on the second floor, so we don't have to worry about that. Thank goodness."
That means whoever did this might be on the second floor.
We'll check the second floor later.
Or they could be behind you right now. You don't know. So are you going to go
Yeah,
back
this-
up the hallway towards the head?
Yes.
Okay, Tom Jones, now that you know that you're going away from where the person is, are you watching backwards?
Oh, I was gonna say, I think I've been walking backwards since the previous room. Once we found out that a man's head was twisted at least around, I'm definitely sort of keeping watching our.
On the left is the fossil lab. That's what it says, fossil lab. But the blood trail continues going up the hallway, and it's actually, there's more and more blood the farther you go.
I think I turned to the group and said, I'm thinking we should be pretty much directed looking at the blood and not other things right now. But what do you think, team?
I mean, yeah.
I agree.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. We're all in agreement on that. Tom might note I didn't wait for his vote.
All right, so Tom, what did you roll?
A dead center 50.
Okay, Tom, you are watching backwards nervously and forgot about the head. So you wind up punting the head with the back of your foot,
Mhm.
and you feel something squishy, and then you hear a thud, 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 thud. And you just have this cold shiver run down your spine as you realize you just mule kicked a head. A decapitated head.
Yeah. There's definitely that full body, like almost like sort of Jim Carrey-esque
And
kind of quality
Ricky,
to it.
Ricky, something bounces off the back of your leg. You hear a thud, thud, poof.
I spin around and whip out the baton and just like, what's it?
There's nothing there but Tom Jones going, and you see his back.
What you
You
do?
guys stop playing with a decapitated head and let's
And
take
then
a
you
move
look down
on.
and you realize that a decapitated head bounced off your leg, and now there's blood all over your tuxedo. Leg, pant leg, your left leg.
I'm so glad I didn't pay for this.
All right. So keep
So
moving.
Tom, I do have to say, I appreciate your historical authenticity, as it is well known that many of these peoples did in fact use heads like a soccer ball. But this isn't the time, buddy. This isn't the time.
And I just, sort of under my breath, I'm just gonna be like, what makes you, what about me looks like I sports?
I sports.
All right.
We follow the blood.
All right. You do, the next door you come to is on your right, and it does say Native American exhibit on it, so people will know where they're going out into. And you if you wish, you can crack it open, but the blood trail keeps going forward.
Through the door?
Blood trail.
No, straight up the hallway.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So the next
Oh,
door you come to on your left, it says main office, but the blood trail continues, and actually you can see that and you know from the map that you have that there's an offshoot to the left, and the blood trail goes around that corner. You can see it from the office doors that it goes around that corner.
I mean, in for a penny, in for a pound, right, guys?
Chasing the blood. That's where we have to go.
Yeah.
And it's there's quite a lot now.
Great.
And you could see that there are shoe prints in the blood.
Shoe prints.
What kind of
yeah.
shoes?
Oh yeah, what kind of shoes?
Dress shoes, size
Okay.
12s.
Can I remember back to Lord
Gadsdenbury.
Gastonberry? What kind
He
of
had
shoes?
he had the squared off shoes because he thinks they look cool. So you're not really sure exactly how long his foot is, because that's a way to hide small feet.
And are their footprints squared off?
No,
Okay.
they're pointy, like normal dress shoes.
All right.
Well,
Okay.
continue on following the blood trail.
All right. So you turn the corner, and there's a door that is mostly hanging on to the hinges, but you can see that the bottom hinge has been broken off, and it's kind of jarred over. But it's open. All you do is pull on it, and it'll open right up.
And the
And I
blood
mean,
trail
there's an
goes through
emergency
there?
light in there, but you can't see anything through the door.
The blood
There's
trail
no
goes.
window.
The blood trail goes through that door.
Yeah, it goes under that door.
I turn to Rosie. I say, "How much strength does it take to go through a door the way that door has been gone through?
Takes quite
It's-
a lot.
It's not a security door, but it would mean that somebody must have kicked it at the bottom where, most likely, kicked it at the bottom where the hinges are, and it just tore off the door.
That's a
Did I
very strong
see-
kick, though.
Yes, it
Right.
is.
Are there any?
Although
blood-
Tom Jones' mule kick against the skull, against that decapitated head, maybe.
What,
Are there,
Rosie?
are there any bloody footprints at the bottom of the door?
Yes, coming out of the door, coming out of the room.
Oh.
Oh, coming
The
out.
footprints are coming away from where you're going.
Okay.
We're walking toward the epicenter of whatever started this.
So,
not-
so
Now I
blood
see.
trail leading to where we are and beyond, and then footprints coming out of that same spot.
So what Ricky will have determined is that the blood is actually originating in that room and then dripping
Yeah,
back the way you came.
that makes sense.
So that as whoever it was got farther away from the murder scene, there was less blood to drip.
All right,
Let's go in.
in we go.
All right. You pull the door open.
Yes.
When you pull the door open, what you see in front of you, you could only describe as a charnel house. There are several bodies in this room, and the smell of fresh blood and feces that just overwhelms you as you open the door. You couldn't smell it before, but it hits you like a sledgehammer in the face. And you could see the bodies laying around the room over broken tables and chairs. And they appear to have been very brutally murdered and pieces of their bodies torn off or missing. You're not sure which, but I need a sanity check from everybody looking in the room. That would be everybody.
I want to make an argument
Yes.
saying, since I'm a forensic surgeon, I got my start in forensics, working with the police, and
I'll give you advantage.
All right.
I'll give you advantage. You failed, didn't you?
No, I didn't roll yet. I just
Oh, okay.
want.
All right, we'll start with Tom Jones from the back of the crowd.
I was gonna say, fortunately, I passed with a 26.
26. Okay. You think you passed?
I hope I passed.
Yes. There you go. All right, Rosie.
50.
Okay. Kyle.
15.
Nice. And Ricky.
All right. So when
Take
it's
the lower
when,
of them.
Yeah, when it's the 0, 0, that's the first letters, right? The first numbers, right?
Yeah.
In that
Unless
case,
it's
I
a
got
0, 0,
and
0,
then a
then it's a
0.
100.
Yeah. Then it's a 100. In that case, I got a 2.
Okay. Perfect.
Nice.
Nicely done. Good
You're
time to
right,
have
Ricky.
that too.
You have seen a lot of this stuff before.
Doesn't
So,
bother him.
Ricky. So Ricky, with that odd two, you didn't even flinch. You just, wait a minute. And you kind of lean into the room looking, and the smell of feces is because someone has torn into their stomachs and obviously ruptured their large intestines. But also, just from where you're looking, you could see that the soft areas are what was primarily attacked, and missing pieces were torn off or something. Stomach, genitals, face, and neck, like a predator would.
I look at Ricky, I say, hey, can you tell us what happened here?
Large animal of some sort attacked all these unfortunate people. As you can see here, and I point out, the soft areas, all the easy to attack areas, the genitals, stomachs, face, neck. As a predator would, akin to think about a tiger or a lion attacking its prey. Goes for the soft areas, easy to puncture, easy to dig into. So
They're good eating.
So Ricky, while you're describing this and showing them these things, I'm sure you're walking around like it's nothing. But make me a forensics roll, please.
Forensics.
What do the others of you want to do? I mean, you can see now that you're looking in the room. Yeah, go ahead, David. Go ahead, Kyle.
I've got my flashlight pointed down, and I'm looking for anything that's not a foot or boot print in the blood, i.e.,
Okay.
an animal print of some sort.
Fair enough. Tom, this draws your attention because, well, you are a performer. You can see the rental bags for the costumes hanging on a rack on the side of the room, undisturbed.
I was going to ask.
And none of these people are wearing costumes. They are all wearing street clothes. These were probably the actors, the monks, and there is one head missing. And the person on the second floor.
Yeah, these definitely look like they were hired by an agency in order to sort of do the whole, presentation of the artifacts type deal. They're probably just making an hourly, happy to have, whatever work, or, they fit a certain demographic based off of headshots. I don't know where they came from or who they are. Maybe this is a regular deal that they do. Could be a Cirque du Soleil type situation. They just happen to already have the costumes. But the point is that these were some of the last people to touch these artifacts, and now they are not rehireable. Let's just
Okay, so Ricky, how'd you do on your roll?
I got a 91.
Ooh,
Offset
That's not good.
that 2.
all right, so Rosie, you can make me a roll. You have medicine, right?
No, I have
Oh, I
one.
thought you did. Okay. Does anyone else have medicine?
I do.
Oh, well, please, Kyle, please make me a roll since you're being very attentive to the ground. Okay. You're not sure what's going on there, but yeah, these people definitely had chunks of flesh torn away.
So
You can't place the animal, Ricky. It doesn't make sense the way this is torn apart.
I've got a
I'm sorry,
strong
what?
skill. I've got a strong skill in natural world. Would that let me have
That'll
some
work.
idea what it might be? Okay.
Yeah. So yes, please
that's
go ahead
actually
and check.
good. I made it by 2 points.
Okay.
Yeah. Does this look like a predator cat of some sort?
No, it looks like human teeth. And the reason you think that is because in one of the bite places on a neck, there's a human tooth in the bite mark.
I look at Ricky and I say, shining on the flashlight on it. I look at him. I say, well, this may sound crazy. Don't have me committed just yet, but that looks like a human tooth. I think we may have a Hannibal Lecter situation here.
So Ricky, you can make me a medicine roll as well. But it looks like this tooth, it's the root and all. It's like it just fell out of the person's mouth.
Oh, that's better. I made the half, 25.
All right. So Ricky, now it makes kind of sense, and you're looking at the bodies and you're trying to do the calculations in your head. And I need a sanity roll. Actually, I need an idea roll first.
Idea.
Yeah.
45.
A what?
45 idea.
Oh yeah, that's gonna make it for your intelligence. So now make me a sanity roll. So Rosie, you've never seen this before, but this is definitely ringing cannibal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, Ricky, you're celebrating. Does that mean you rolled well?
That's a 19.
Okay. Yes, you did. You rolled very well. So, Ricky, you were doing some math in your head, and you think between the 7 bodies, not counting the head that you found in the hall, that somewhere between 35 and 45 pounds of flesh is missing.
Oh. Wow.
Just because there's like whole organs that are gone. But yet you found a piece of a liver over here, and you find a piece of a kidney over there.
So the
Yes.
flesh that's missing, it seems like it's been eaten or it's just taken.
Well, from the pieces you're finding and the marks around the wounds, eaten, like bitten off of the bodies.
There are
Well,
no
Now, whether
bite-
it was bitten off and swallowed or spit some in a bag or something, you don't know. But yeah,
There-
there's pieces of internal organs laying on the ground too.
there are no
bite
bite marks. There are no bite marks that are not the human tooth looking bite marks. There are none
Correct.
that
They're
look like any-
all human tooth. Now that he sees it, it's hard not to miss.
Do they all look like the same size, like bite? Or
Yes. But the bite seems like an overly wide mouth, like a larger
was-
mouth than you would expect, which
I
is
was
what
about
threw
to
him
ask.
off.
Yeah, I was about to ask that tooth. Does it look like
It looks like a normal
a
sized tooth.
normal size evolved tooth?
Yes, but the mouth looks too wide. Or it's a person that just has a really large mouth.
like the guy from Aerosmith?
Well, more like I would say
Convoluted.
more like
Are you saying Steven Tyler is here
Steven
eating museum
Tyler.
staff?
I think that's what she
I'm
said.
saying
Exactly.
it's a
no, I would
possibility.
say more like the way Jack's mouth worked in Nightmare Before Christmas, where it goes all the way to here.
That makes sense.
Oh, that's
Kind of like a Muppet.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
you know, it's not like
Yeah.
a whole jaw, but it's just like the mouth is just so much wider than it should be.
why
Interesting.
so serious? Okay,
Creepy.
Yeah.
But it does seem like it's only one thing that was in here eating. things.
Unless multiples have the same size mouth,
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
but you only find one tooth. I think one tooth's enough. Yeah,
and yeah, which one is it? Is it? It's a.
it's actually a front tooth. It's not even an inside. It's not a canine. It's
It's an
front.
incisor.
Is an incisor. So that's-
Yep.
Tearing flesh. That's what that's needed for.
So what's the verdict, Ricky?
Big mouth cannibals.
like a big mouth
That's-
bass.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Is that what I
That's-
should write in my notebook, Ricky?
New species
mean-
just dropped. Big mouth cannibal.
Yeah, if you want to be credited for discovering a new species, sure.
Well, I got to tell you, if that's the case, noodling is straight out for me. I'm not going to try it ever if they're big mouth cannibals. No.
I think they're more of a land animal, so you're fine.
Okay.
We let's this is just crazy. Let's get out of here.
Oh, the stench is terrible.
Shalom, I am going to I asked Ricky, do you have a pair of forceps or tweezers or anything that I can get this
There's a
tooth out
first
with?
aid kit in the room.
Perfect.
Right
I
to
open
the
that up.
wall.
I open that up. What I'm going to try to do is just get the tooth out of the body and maybe put it into, is there pills in the first aid kit? Maybe a pill bottle I can dump them out and put the tooth into?
Well, they have the, like the pills in the little packets. You could tear open one of the packets and
I'll
slip
do
it
that.
in.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
And just fold the packet up and put it in my pocket for later.
Tom Jones,
Nice.
I believe you're probably wishing you had found Vicodin.
I stuff my pockets with some first aid stuff, by the way.
The fact that I didn't
Just
grab
close the
like,
kit, hand it back to you.
I don't want
the
to carry
fact
the
that I
kit
didn't
in
grab
my
like a
hands-free.
bottle of vodka, a bottle of champagne, the fact that there was a whole bar and I took nothing as an anesthetic to my own insanity,
Yeah.
it's a missed opportunity for sure.
And now you feel like you're sober and scared
It's the worst way to feel.
because you were lying to those people. There is a problem here.
Oh,
It's a big
100%.
problem.
I,
It's a
Like
big mouth
that.
problem.
I think the only thing that got me the the confidence that I had when addressing those people was my ignorance. The fact that ignorance is truly bliss, I think, is dawning now on Tom Jones in a way that has never before been.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you are discussing leaving, you hear bang, bang, bang,
Oops.
and it's coming from the east.
Let's go,
Is it
fellas.
done?
I move.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, I'll go in that direction for sure.
Tom, are you following him?
Absolutely. I'm not going to be
Make sure-
left alone.
Yeah.
Make sure
no.
my stun gun is on.
Ricky, you're going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So the first entrance into the museum proper is into the Native American exhibit. Now it sounded like it was, due east of you, which means that it would be not where the door is, but farther up, back towards the back of the, where it says Native Americans on the actual map.
Right. Continue moving forward. Do I hear any further gunshots?
No, you don't. No.
Okay.
But the the exhibits, you have to kind of weave your way through, their exhibits, and they have the lifelike,
It's very
Native
spooky.
Americans standing in front of a teepee, and then in front of a log house, various different tribes where they've tried to show what the life is, what the normal life was like, but they're always those creepy mannequins. And so you don't see anything until you get all the way into the prehistoric man. And what you see in the prehistoric man is that right in front of the Neanderthal exhibit, okay, there are two bodies on the ground. One is laying on his back, and the other one is laying on his stomach. One laying on his stomach, and they're both wearing tuxedos, by the way. One laying on his stomach, there is a 9mm handgun that has obviously fallen from his hand. Is about 2 feet from his hands, from his right hand.
Okay.
And you don't see anything else. Not even Rosie with her incredible spot does not see anything else. Nobody else is here.
I will go to a knee next to him, palming the handgun in my left hand and pulling the body over so we can see it with my right hand.
Okay, so this will take a sanity check. Because he looked okay until you roll him over and you can see where something has drawn 4 claw marks down his side of his head and into his chest and popped the eyeball.
So I got a 61.
Okay.
And as I'm looking at that, I turn towards Ricky and I say, "Tiger? Big cat?"
So, yeah. And the other person laying there on the ground dead on his back has 2 bullet holes in his chest.
Is that how many bangs we heard?
You heard 3.
Oh.
So Omega Control, what was the vote on the third, please? So, Tom, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Tom? Tom?
Sorry, it was cutting out a little bit. Can you?
Oh yeah.
repeat
What
that
are you
one more
gonna do,
time?
Tom?
I'm probably going to continue to watch at least our 6 with our my giant wrench at the ready to make sure that if anything sort of like comes up from behind, sort of keeping a general ocular perimeter, but a lot of it is wild-eyed panic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to make me a spot roll, and I'm gonna come back to you.
Perfect.
Okay. So, yes, Ricky, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go look at the body with the bullet wounds, or are you gonna look at the body that's been scraped open? Or are you gonna do something else?
The body with the bullet wounds. I want a quick once over. Look at his hands.
Normal hands.
They don't match the scratch marks on.
No, and there's no
Okay.
blood or tissue under. There's nothing under his nails.
This is weird.
Rosie, do you walk over to the bodies?
Oh, yeah.
Rosie, you find a fingernail laying next to the body of the guy who was scraped like this. A human fingernail torn out all the way back, like the whole nail came out all the way into the nail bed. So, Tom Jones, how did you do on that roll?
Not well.
Not well.
93. 93.
Wow, you need to reverse them dice, buddy.
You are not kidding.
All right, Kyle, what are you doing?
I have taken a moment to kind of breathe in very carefully and try to center myself and do a very quick meditation to try to overcome what I'm seeing. And I will turn to Rosie and Ricky and say, "Does this look like a big cat, these claw marks?"
Could be.
I
Could
found a
be.
human fingernail.
and it's the whole fingernail.
Does it have blood on it, or is it just the fingernail?
Oh yeah, there's definitely blood on it, and there's also blood where it must have torn out of the person's finger.
I think a person is doing all of this.
I pull out my little tiny packet and open it and say, "Can you put it in here?" Thank you. And I close the packet back up and put it back in my pocket. go-
I do want to check the bodies. Are any of them missing a fingernail?
No.
Okay.
No, but while you're checking the bodies, you realize that the pockets on the suit coats and the pants have been torn open, like somebody was going through the pockets and tore them open. And you find a small piece of wiring on the ground next to the one who had the 2 bullet holes in his chest. And it looks like the wires that were on the door.
Look what I found, Kyle.
Well, we found our amateur electrician.
It's
That's
from the
for
door.
sure. Good work, Rosie.
It's the same wires from the door.
So does it look like this person was part of wiring the door that way, or that they somehow took the wiring apart so that wouldn't work?
Or did the wiring come from the person that the fingernail came from?
Oh, wow. Okay. As I'm kneeling next to the body, I look all around me at all my friends' feet, and I'm looking at the floor to see if there's any indication of a third party who perhaps had been in here, like a track or something. And
all right.
left.
You don't really see anything there. But what I want you to do is I want you to make me a spot roll. You don't see any tracks. We'll put it that way. And Rosie, so the wires are kind of like wrapped around a piece of cardboard. So your guess is these wires hadn't been used yet.
Oh, okay. So
Looking at them a little more closely. Yes, Kyle.
I failed the spot roll.
Okay.
Rosie, hold on to those wires. We might be able to bypass that escape door mechanism using them.
All right, I'll keep them in here.
Perfect.
Hey, Ricky.
Yeah, so there's no correlation between these 2 bodies. I just look around to try to find something else that would make sense. Try to make this situation make sense.
Make a forensics roll. This is perfect for you. Make a forensics roll. Tom,
45.
What are you gonna do?
You
just standing around guard?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what everyone's trying to do with wires. Is definitely not my wheelhouse. I'm like looking around trying to see if I can help with any clues, and like every time I go to pick something up, realize it's unimportant, put it back down, and keep a perimeter again. Like
Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to look at I believe it's handout number 5 real quick.
Okay.
All right, so Ricky, how did you do?
45.
45. All right, so I know that's under your skill.
Yeah.
Ricky, you're like, okay, wait a minute. We heard 3 gunshots. Where's the third one? And you're looking around and you're following where you think the trajectory would be from where the people are, where the one person's laying down and the other one was killed. And you see it in the wall behind the Neanderthal exhibit. And it draws your attention to handout 5, which is actually up on Twitch as well. There's a family of Neanderthals standing in front of what looks like a cavern wall, and the bullet hole is punched through there. But also in front of that exhibit and just to the side are what would be Neanderthal skulls, fossilized skulls.
And that's part of the museum.
Where'd
Yes.
that one find?
But that's where that third
handouts?
shot is. You're guessing that there was a third person here and that the person with the gun tried to shoot that third person. Maybe that third person and the guy with the bullet holes in his chest were working together. You don't know. But obviously that third shot was off to where another person would have been standing.
So, Ricky was saying something.
Oh, I was asking, where doth thou find the handouts?
They're in the production deck.
Oh, where is that folder? That
In the
thingy.
the drop.
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
No, I mean I have it open. I just can't find it.
So
Okay.
Tom,
So
I need you to make me a spot roll.
Sholem, both
Uh-huh.
Rosie and I walked the museum yesterday carefully.
Yes.
Can we assess if this exhibit, this that you've shown the picture of, looks the same as it did yesterday, or is it?
It does, all
missing
except for the
anything?
bullet hole.
Okay, so no skulls are missing or anything like
No,
that.
no, all the skulls
Okay.
are there.
right.
How well did you succeed, Tom?
Pretty well. I got a 16.
And let me.
Oh, sorry, out of spot hidden.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So, Tom, you're the one who's been standing in front of the Neanderthal exhibit for a while, and you just can't believe how bad these things look. I mean, you would think that they would do something to make it look better. I mean, even the skull over here looks weird. I mean, if you look at it, and ain't a sanity roll.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because if you look at it, you really look at it. Oh no, that's a 77. That's
Okay. We'll get back to you.
good.
So, is there anything else you want to do with the bodies, Ricky?
No, I don't. We checked the pockets.
Yeah, all the pockets are torn open, like
Check that. We
on
saw.
both bodies.
Yeah, we saw what we could. The only thing left to do is just to pick up the gun.
Well,
I've
the
already
gun's
done
already
that.
gone.
Oh,
I've
Gun
already got that.
disappeared very quickly.
oh, my bad. I missed that.
No
I
worries.
guess. Yeah, I don't have anything else to do. I just look at that bullet hole where that third person would have been, and I just try to make it the most educated guess I can to which direction they would have ran off to.
Okay. So Rosie and Kyle, you're looking at the exhibits, trying to there's a lot of exhibits in this place, but it
Fair.
looks the same. And then you notice that Tom Jones is like leaning way down and he's looking at this skull, and you realize that he stopped breathing.
Dad,
He's not breathing,
Tom Jones, are you okay?
and he's non-responsive.
I'm gonna use my stun gun on him.
What?
What?
No,
He's
just
already
kidding.
stunned.
I'm
did-
gonna shake him.
there.
You shake him and you wind up spinning him around, and he's just like,
What's wrong, Tom?
I slap his face, not to injure him, but to shock him.
all right. He does kind of, and he's just pointing at the skull he was looking at.
All right.
And
I
when the
would
two
like-
of you look at it, I need you to make me an idea roll. Yeah, an idea roll.
I look at Tom Jones as he's pointing, and I look at him, and I'm trying to ground him, Sholem. Okay, so what I do
Okay.
is I say, objectively, Tom Jones, "It's Not Unusual" is not a great song.
Oh, and that angers you, but unusual is that, and you point.
Yeah, 100%. I'd just be like, first of all, reasonable. Secondly, you want some unusual. You want to see some unusual? And then just-
I will look, and I made my idea roll.
All right, Rosie.
I made it.
Okay. So what you see, there is a skull. One of these skulls is sitting there on its little plinth, and it doesn't look like the ones near it. It's not just that there's something wrong with it, but it almost looks like, because it's fossilized, so it's a rock, but it looks like it's grown new bone.
What?
And with that, we'll stop for the night so you can find out what happened next week.
I like that. I want that to happen to me.
Yeah, I gotta admit, that's a really great cliffhanger. That's a really that's a solid
So-
place to end.
Well, we do what we can. So hopefully you all had fun. But we
Yes,
do have
sir.
some quick reminders, and then we're going to go raid a friend. So David, take it away.
Alrighty. Don't forget to subscribe to the Games Tavern, our YouTube channel right now. Subscribing is free, and you don't miss any of the action, and you get access to all of the shows and content. Your likes and positive comments on these videos helps future adventurers find out about the shows. Sally.
Yeah, I want to announce our giveaway winner, but how do I?
It's Turbo KKV, Sally.
All right. The winner of our mystery dice set from 1985 games is Turbo
KKV.
Great. Congratulations. The Tech Goblins will reach out to you on Twitch to get the information to send you your awesome prize. So please stick around.
And a big shout out to Omega Control and our technical specialist, Jack Kelling. Don't forget to take a look at Dirty Deeds on Wednesday, Whiskey, Magic, and Destruction on Thursday, and our special series of dungeon crawls on Saturday with RPG short shots. And with that, we look forward to seeing you all next week for the second part of Stardust.
Bye, guys.
Have
Bye.
a great evening.